And welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with John Denton.
Hello.
I'm here with Matt Murray.
Hello.
And I'm here with James Farley.
Hello.
Hey, John's back. You right, John?
Yeah,
Where you
very
been?
good. I went to Germany. I went to DreamHack Leipzig, and I couldn't get a flight back until late on Monday night from Germany, so I couldn't do the podcast, which was very upsetting. But yeah, it was a decent time out in DreamHack. I don't know if you even know what DreamHack is. So DreamHack, real quick, DreamHack is like a massive LAN festival in one room, basically, in these massive halls, and then the other room is like a sort of expo, but mainly sort of PC focused. But you know, I do a lot of work for Monster Energy, so they're the main sponsor, so they have like an area there. So at this one we had a big massive stand and like simulators on the roof and stuff. It was pretty good. It took a lot of work.
Simulators on the roof?
Like race simulators, you know, like play seats. You know,
so with like race simulators now, is it all VR now?
No, there was the period where they were looking into doing it like that, and you can get them like that. But I wanted to strip it back and just have it so it's playing properly, because VR is actually kind of detrimental to it, I find. So yeah, just
why is that?
It makes people feel sick. It's kind of distracting. Mainly it makes people feel sick.
People throwing up all over
it, and it's way more expensive, obviously, to get the rigs and things like that. But and people, some people might try it, but we found that people get put off by it as much as anything.
So while you were out there, you were sending me photos of the Rocket League tournament that you were sitting watching, and it just looked like a dream come true for me. I was like, Jesus, that looks like the setup looked incredible. You were saying like actually watching it live is really enjoyable, and I'm like, holy shit, I need to maybe check something out next time it's over here. I need to go and check this out, definitely. Yeah,
so through this line of work I've sat in plenty of major esports tournaments, DreamHacks and different things, and you know, I sat at some of the League of Legends ones when they did them at Wembley and stuff like that, and like I'm always impressed by the setup. Like you say, the production values are insane. The atmosphere is really cool, but I don't really even understand League of Legends and Dota, to be fair, and stuff like CS:GO, which I've sat through. Obviously, I understand it, but it's not my game. Do you know what I mean? So I've never really got it. And then games like Call of Duty, I don't really enjoy watching. It moves too fast, and the commentary's too fast. So I kind of assumed that I was like that with all esports, apart from fighting games, which I enjoy watching. But yeah, this particular DreamHack, it was Rocket League was like the main event. That was the main esports game there. So there was a decent sized setup, probably about 400 or 500 seats, and then obviously the really amazing staging, and the best teams in the world were competing. And like you just said, mate, it was absolutely brilliant. I mean, Rocket League is obviously an amazing game, arguably one of the greatest games ever made. The more we play, the deeper it seems to get. But sitting there watching it live, and I'm not even going to pretend like the atmosphere was insane. It wasn't like people screaming or anything like that. It was kind of subdued with some cheering and applause and stuff like that, and people being impressed. But the standard on display, the level that these people have got to in the game is just mind blowing. And because of that, and how close the teams were, every single match that I watched was really, really tense, really close, and just really exciting. And I genuinely think that out of all of the major esports and stuff that's got big audiences, this is the one that could bring in, you know, people who are less interested in competitive gaming. Whether you're going to interest someone who doesn't like gaming at all, I don't know. But Rocket League's so easy to follow. It's so simple. You know, it's simpler than football in many ways. And weirdly, do you know what it reminded me of? Less so than football and less so than a normal sport. It reminded me of darts. And it's because, like, what was happening, there was this constant back and forth, constant drama. It's like almost every single game, every single moment, there was that tension, that same thing that you have in darts. Like, I don't know if you ever watched darts. I'm sure you have, Dave. But it's like way more exciting than it has any right to be. It shouldn't be exciting. It's just two fat guys throwing arrows at a board. But because of the drama and the precision and like the mind games and just everything, the concentration, it becomes an amazing spectator sport. And this Rocket League really actually reminded me of darts, bizarrely, in the best possible way. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I definitely want to go, when next time if they do a big event over here. then I'll definitely be there.
Absolutely fucking hammered. Was that part of it?
No, not at all. I mean, this is like mostly people under 18, and it was in the middle of the afternoon. So, unlike darts, if they were hammered, it would have been a much better atmosphere. But it was, it was great. It was really, really good, and just made me want to play way more Rocket League. So basically, I just went back to the hotel every evening and just played Rocket League on the Switch. And then,
this is it, right? Because you, I mean, it just so happened, I didn't know you were going to this, it was a Rocket League thing, but it just so happens that I've got majorly into Rocket League again. I'm talking every night at least, 10 games. Playing, most of the time, I'd say the majority of the time, just playing on my own with randoms in doubles mode, right? Because I love doubles mode. And then you came back from this going, I need to play Rocket League. Like, I am now, like, bang up for playing Rocket League. And I was like, thank God, someone else to just, like, properly play Rocket League with. What made me laugh is that you were like, right, I'm feeling more confident in everything I'm doing. I'm feeling more confident. The amount of times you flew past the ball when... Need to remind myself I'm not a pro. I need to remind myself.
Those first few games, I just thought I was as good as them.
But I'll be honest with you go into that and watching that as like... Obviously, it spurred you on to be more creative with what you were doing and trying to, force yourself to jump up for the high balls and go for it. The more you played, the better you got. And that spurred me on because I don't know if you noticed last night, but I was jumping and flying a hell 100%. Of a lot more than I usually do. I think what I'm saying, John, is I think we might be at the next level now.
I think something's happened and we've broken through a little bit. And I think,
the last two nights we played, the last two, mate.
Well, you were there.
I'm just saying, it's like me watching the World Cup saying, I could probably roll with the best of them.
What? This isn't even about you, Matt.
It's like someone saying not watching the World Cup and then commenting on one of the players. That's what it's like. Oh, he wasn't that good that game. Matt, you don't watch the World Cup. What are you talking about?
Can I ask one question though? What are you mostly playing this on? Is it on PS4 or on Switch?
I swear on my life on everything. Yeah. I've been playing when Joe's watching telly, I'm playing on a Switch. When I'm playing on my own against randoms, I'm playing on the PS4. And when I'm playing with John, we're playing on Xbox.
And I'm mainly playing on Xbox as opposed to PS4 just because playing other stuff on Xbox, so it's just easier to jump to that than switching consoles, even though the PS4 version is better on the Pro than currently the Xbox version is. But yeah, and Switch. Probably did 15 hours of Switch when I was away because I was in a hotel, nobody else was there, so I had nothing to do. And I think doing that against the bots, just concentrating on jumping up, trying to get to the ceiling and trying to emulate what these phenomenal players were doing. I mean, it really was amazing to watch these kids do it. It's made the game even better, and I didn't even think that was possible.
I'm saying I come away from it last night thinking this is an all-timer. Like this is, I mean, I knew that anyway, but like this is just one of the best games ever. When we talk about the best games ever made, this is totally up there for me. And then Saturday, do you remember? I think it was Saturday where I said I'm really not in the mood to play. Like I'm shattered. I just want to go to bed. And you were like, "Oh, well, let's just have a couple of games." We had a couple of games. It was up till like 12:30, 1 o'clock again. Just like because it just injected some energy into me, and I was like on the edge of my seat throughout every game. It's just the best. It's one of the only games that I would happily go and watch people play live. The only thing that I still don't get, and I do kind of get it, but you know when tournament play, so it's one team against another, and it's usually like best of 5 games or something, isn't it? And I just kind of think, oh man, the drama of it just being one game, isn't that? I know it's way too short, but I don't know, man. I like the whole idea of like, it's like, no, this is it. This
maybe
one
you can't
game
like travel from like America all the way to Germany and get knocked out because you have one shit game. To be fair, no, but the drama carries. It carries. So like you've got just in any sport, any sport that has multiple sets like that, the drama carries through. Definitely, I know what you're saying. Just that like the idea of a shootout one game, but yeah, no, the back and forth between like one team raced into a 3-0 lead and then. Yeah, the other team pegged it back to 3-3. Nah, the way they got it set up is pretty damn good.
Imagine if it was like that though, and people did travel all the way from America to Germany, set up, lose the first game, okay, bye. Yeah, just got to go back to the airport. I'd love that. Right, okay, because that's not the only thing that's been going on in your world this week. There's been quite the Twitter drama And I'll be honest, I've been absolutely loving every minute of it. It's been brilliant.
It's been a crazy few weeks for me, mate, I'll tell you.
This goes back to what, 2-3 weeks ago when you posted the original video?
I think I dropped the original about 2 weeks ago, yeah.
So if you don't follow John Denton on Twitter, get that sorted.
Yeah,
Secondly,
no H.
This is what happened. John, there's no H in that, John. There's John posted a video taken directly from his Nintendo Switch onto Twitter of Elliot, his son. How old is he? 6?
6, yeah, 6.5.
6.5-year-old playing Mario Odyssey, and he does this incredible thing where he does this sort of ground pound thing, lands on a scooter, then jumps and does that double hat throw move and lands directly in a pipe, which is ages away in New Donk City, right? It's really good. It's really good. And he posted it up, and it got, how many views did that video get?
It's currently on 287,000.
Right. So it's a very popular video. I have been obsessed with looking at what people have been replying, and for the vast majority of the replies, it's been, "Wow, that's amazing! Your kid's brilliant. This is unbelievable."
97%
really nice comments.
has been really nice. So we must say that and make sure that that's known before we continue the story.
Totally, but you know what it's like. You scroll down, and there was one that just said, "What was it? He didn't actually have to jump off the scooter."
Oh, God.
I was just like, that's not even you questioning the video that he did it. That's you criticising a 6-year-old for the way he did it. So he's accepted that it was a 6-year-old doing it, but still wants to put the boot in a bit. You know what I mean? It's like insane. Then there was like people saying you stole this from a speed run. And I was getting frustrated. I was getting genuinely angry reading some of these replies. But one dude stood out. It was Fox Yamaha 123, right? On Twitter. And he then he accused you of lying about it, saying that it wasn't your son.
Yeah, which a fair few people did, and most of which were easy to ignore. Yeah. Yeah,
that's one level of madness. Okay, right. Maybe you thought that in your head and you thought John needed telling that. Okay. I don't know what's going on in your life for you to get there, but all right, well, we ain't going to go mental at you for that. But when you start replying to everyone who said nice comments to John with just bile, like he didn't do it, you fucking look at this video, look at it, it's not like this video. Was he the first one that said, was he the dude that turned around and said, oh yeah, interesting that this video wasn't recorded on a stream, and suddenly he's not in the video and his son's not in the video. And I just thought, fucking idiot, it was taken directly from the Switch. Like, that's how all the Switch videos look. That's what started it. And then it got more and more heated, more and more accusations got flown at John, and John was totally ignoring it. Until this guy, well, you still ignored it after this, but this guy started saying, right, I will give you $100 if you do a video of him actually doing this, your 6-year-old actually doing this move, right? And then he kept going, well, because he won't do it. I've offered him $100. And then finally John replied and said, look, let's put it in a holding bank then, because I don't want to do it and then for you to just take the money away, right? Or not pay. You put $100 in here, and then once it's released, once I've proved it, the money gets released into my account. And then he said no, and then started accusing everyone of trying to steal from him, right? Which is that was just a wild turn that he took there. And then out of nowhere, you posted a video of Elliot doing that exact same move. Right?
Yeah, I'm a bit suspicious about this video though, because you cut away. Did you maybe he just handed the controller to you, John, while you did it?
I'm holding the camera, mate.
I know, but maybe someone else was,
I'm
James,
not fucking Weta. I'm not Peter Jackson. I don't know how to do that. I just filmed it.
I'm joking, but yeah. Go on.
So anyway, you posted what made you do that?
Well, I was all this drama happened, and I was away for most of it. I was in Germany from Friday to basically I didn't get home until Tuesday afternoon. And then just busy that day, and then Elliot was just playing, and I just said to him, "Oh, do you fancy doing a video of you actually doing it?" He didn't know about all the negative stuff. He knew about all the positive stuff and the views, because I didn't really want to.
No.
You know, he's 6. He doesn't really have the mental capacity to understand people berating him or anything. Like,
of course, you would never, ever tell someone like a 6-year-old what is going on the internet, ever.
But he loves being in videos, and anyway, like, he's got that personality. So yeah, he was like, yeah, I'll do it. So I said, right, do an intro, and then do it. And yeah, he just smashed it out first time. Amazing. Did his little dance at the end. And so, yeah, I stuck that up. Mainly, to be honest, mainly to show people, because I'm sure people who follow me and enjoyed that video would enjoy seeing that, because it was nice to see. And just to prove anybody who was on the fence about it that it really was him. And then also, of course, just to stick it to the fuckers. But I never really thought for a minute, like for a second, this guy was actually going to pay. But of course, he did say he would multiple times. And the thing is, the other reason why I remember to do the videos, he kept coming at me. The video died down. It was going from first day I had like 160,000 views, and the second day like 40,000. My phone was basically broken, but it was dying down, you know, to getting like 1,000 views a day, a couple of notifications, nothing major. But then this guy pipes up again and says, "You've been very quiet, you fucking liar," like this. And I was like, whoa, you spent like a week and a half stewing on this, waiting for this video, or however long it was. And then, yeah, decided to continue to harass me. And that's what it was at this point. So I was like, okay, well, like, you know, fucking pay me then, motherfucker.
So this is where it gets funny.
Pay Elliot.
This is where it gets funny. Because you posted this video and I retweeted it and said, I said something like, I copied the guy in and said, okay, time to pay up $100 or whatever. And then I had a reply from him, and it was sent to you as well, John, that said, yeah, all right, where's the video then? And that was it. And then I went to check his Twitter account and he'd blocked me. Right, so what had happened is that he'd sent me this message, then seen the video, and then thought, fuck. Just started blocking anyone that sent him a message regarding this $100. And so then I was just like continuously like looking down. So like after that, after he blocked me, I went and put a tweet out on the TCGS account, because it was like, you haven't blocked that one, you fucking prick. That was the other thing, because he took, like, I asked him before you'd posted your video, I asked him for an interview so we could play it out on this podcast, which he declined, obviously, and said, yeah, well, what? So your free listeners can hear it. And I just thought, mate.
Yeah, this guy has 80 Twitter followers, by the way.
This is part of the reason why I've mentioned Fox Yamaha 123 over and over again, because hopefully our free listeners might just send him a little slight tweet to remind him of the $100. But yeah, so then obviously he'd seen it. He went on to a massive blocking rampage, and then a friend of yours set up a GoFundMe thing.
Well, yeah, but before that, even the reason he refused to pay up was friend of the show and GameSpot editor, and very influential fellow in the UK games industry to more. He actually hit him up and said, like, this is sad, pay the man. And this guy, Fox Yamaha, retweeted his old tweet saying, it was basically a tweet saying, I don't want you to take a week to do this. No, like funny business, no, like production stuff. It has to be real. Retweeting that. The reason being that I took a week to produce the video, as if that makes any fucking difference. So that was his get out clause for not doing it. And then he blocked me. Then he blocked more. Then he blocked everybody. Went on this huge blocking spree. And that was pretty much the end of it until, as you were about to say.
Yeah, is he a friend of yours? Who was it? I didn't see.
Yeah, Martin Mathers, who used to be the Dep Head when I started on Games TM. If you ever watched Games Master back in the day, and you remember a guy in a suit completing Virtua Cop 2-player holding both guns. You remember that?
Yeah, it was. I totally remember it.
Yeah. So this was mine years before I ever met him, and I haven't, like really spoken to him in real life for forever. But he obviously followed the saga as well, and decided just to set up a little GoFundMe for Elliot, which was really, really nice of him, and some people put some money in that, and he's ended up with a little bit more than what the $100 he was supposed to get. Just through people's kindness.
This is it, because we you know what we're like, and we get all bashful about this sort of money stuff, right? And you were sort of messaging me saying, "Oh, I find this real. I don't know what to do about this." And at first, I was like, "Oh yeah, shit, that is a bit awkward, isn't it?" Because people giving you money and stuff like that. And I thought, hold on, they're not giving you money. They're giving Elliot money because he's fucking brilliant. Like that's the way you got to look at it.
Well, that's why I changed. That's why I was just like, "Oh no, this is fine." Yeah, I didn't set it up. It was already set up, and it was all done out of niceness. And yeah, people were very kindly put some money in, which was lovely of them.
And it just goes to show you, like with those Twitter comments, for every dick, like with every complete and utter dick on the internet, there's far more nice people.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I thought that was just like a nice ending to the whole thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
We're never going to hear from this guy again.
No.
He's never going to pay out the money, but some people stepped in and did something nice on the internet, and I thought that was, it was a nice little end to the story. It couldn't have ended in a better way, really.
And he's had most of the UK games industry. It's just slating him on Twitter pretty much every day.
Good. So yeah, thought I'd share that little story for you.
And that's what you get if you accuse a 6-year-old of lying.
Go on, Matt.
I was going to say, speaking of happy endings, Harry and Asher both got their Mario cereal this week, didn't they?
Well, all right. What do you want? What do you want?
I just want to put a nice end to the story.
Speaking of happy endings, what about me?
Yeah, that was exactly what just happened.
I know, it totally was, wasn't it? What about the good deed that I done where I decided not to steal their cereal?
That was what I was saying.
That is what you were saying. That's exactly what you were saying.
Well, did they enjoy it or what?
Yeah, he loves it. He said it's tasty. The amiibo stuff doesn't work. Does it on yours?
Yeah, it doesn't.
What? Hold on, right? It might do on yours. It don't on mine. All right.
Okay.
You've obviously got the good box.
You're probably doing something wrong. It does work.
What should I be doing?
Have you know how to do like amiibos and stuff in Odyssey? Yeah.
I go up to the robot. I hold down the right cursor or whatever it tells you.
You don't need to do that.
You don't need to do that. Okay,
no, you
fine.
can just,
it literally tells you to do that. The
but
game
you can just hold down the right cursor at any time, and then it comes up with the thing, and then you just do it.
Right. Okay. Well, it still doesn't work because then you do it. You put it on the stick, and then it don't do nothing. So, what do you want?
I know. I don't care if it doesn't work. It works for me.
Well, you clearly do because you're accusing me of lying there. I would have to say that Harry was very happy with his Mario cereal, and thank you to the dude that sent it over from America. I appreciate that. Yeah, and as I said in the tweet, thank you so much to everyone that pressured Matt into doing the right thing.
I don't think they pressured me. I was always going to give it to you anyway.
That wasn't the case. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I hadn't have noticed those DMs, we wouldn't have heard about them again.
There was also that discussion we had in WhatsApp about it as well. It's I'm not entirely sure you were going to give it to us, Matt.
What was I going to do?
Yes. You literally told us last week that you wanted to eat them and then looked for praise because you didn't eat them.
I said I really wanted it for the photo opportunity, and I got that.
Right, okay. But then you did say, you've got to eat them. I mean, I really wanted to eat them. Oh, shouldn't you be praising me because I haven't eaten cereal? Like, could you imagine that, John? Receiving cereal in the post for your son that's been opened and the bag stapled back together.
You're talking about something that didn't actually happen, so we can talk about it all day long if you want.
Only because of the press. I don't know. I had a little.
Be weird.
It's not a real game. I was just reading something today that I thought was quite interesting, and I wanted to know if any of you could spot what game this was from. Do you want to play?
Let's
play, guys.
Yeah.
Let's play. So right, get this right. This is from a game that come out not too long ago. I'm pretty sure you've all played it, but I want to see how long it takes for you to work out what the game is. Right. So it was actually in the game. This. I don't know what to call it, poem or something. Right, see if you can work out what it is. The symbol of a voyage. Let's start to raise the sails. A tailwind also dances. Flip a coin to tell our future. The goddess blows a kiss. All the lights in the world. Let's sing our love. Then jump and dash. Say yeah. Let's dream together. Love together. Love together. If we walk while waving our arms, and if you are falling apart, once all our tears have fallen, we'll get a one-up. Anyone got it yet?
Mario Odyssey.
Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, fuck
Have you
knows.
read the actual translation from that? So that's Jump Up Superstar in Japanese, translated directly into English. It's fucking insane. I mean, it's far more beautiful than the words that are in the English version, but I mean, like, the English version seems well weak in comparison now. It's proper like, and you're Mario and you're jumping for blocks and getting coins. Like, at least there's got a bit of poetry in it. I might get that framed. Anyway, well done, John. You're the winner.
Thanks, mate.
Shall I not do any more games?
Always do games. I love games. Games are good.
Keep up the games. Keep up the old games.
Let's get some feedback.
I also said the answer, but it cut out. Matt King.
John, have you got any feedback?
I was about to say.
Last week's show, 'cause
I wasn't here last week.
It?
I did listen to the show. Always listen to the show. Listen to every episode. And I've got some feedback, actually. So I thought maybe I'd jump ahead of the queue and give my feedback, some notes, written down some notes here. You can probably hear my paper rustling. So, earlier on in the episode, you're talking about Sea of Thieves and also the Xbox Game Pass situation. And you talk about Rare being disappointed that they're not going to get that chunk of money from selling Sea of Thieves. Rare's owned by Microsoft, so it doesn't fucking matter. They won't get any different. I mean, someone might tell me I'm wrong and they might get something, but yeah, they're all salaried employees. So that was pretty dumb. I would have.
That's a good point. Yeah. Fair play.
There was a part shortly after that where Matt just said, "I'm not a parent," which was weird. So we'll play that to Elodie on her 18th.
Yeah, that was a shocker. Yeah, I think I said if I was a parent. What I think I said if I was a parent. What I meant was.
What? Say that. Start again. Slow down. Start that sentence again, Matt.
I said was if I was a parent.
Sounds like a Fatboy Slim song, that.
That's the remix. If I was a parent, this came out really, really good. But what I meant was say if I was a parent, like a teenager who play games. That's what I meant to say. I am a parent. I can confirm I am a parent. I'm just not a parent of a teenager who plays games every day.
Right, okay, fine.
That's my defense.
I've written Wii U Switch retail here. It was obviously something dumb you said, but I can't remember what it is. I didn't write enough notes, so I'll take the L on that one. A bit of credit for James. FIFA 97 joke. I like the premise. It was a good joke. But I get it because the premise was there, and you didn't even want to do it because you hadn't pieced it together. I thought it was good. So yeah, don't let them get you down, mate. That was a good solid premise.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to tell us a joke again, just for people who didn't listen to last week's show?
No, I don't. Can we?
Go on, next.
And you said Suarez went to Real Madrid, where he's clearly at Barcelona and on the front cover of Pro Evo. So that was shocking for football-related stuff. I think that was Dave. Yeah, I think that was Dave.
Sounds like something I'd say.
Shocking.
And then, my final bit of feedback really caught me off guard, actually, this one, where Matt just says, "You're a prick, John." So that was a little upsetting, a bit of a stressful week anyway. So I don't know, do you want to explain yourself?
I can't even remember what we were talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I remember what you were talking about.
Oh, go on.
I mean, it was literally just like, it was so out of the blue. I remember like listening back afterwards and going, where the fuck did that come from? You were talking about lawbreakers, and out of nowhere you just said, "You're a prick, John." Like, there was no context, no nothing to it. It was just, we were talking about law. You made a lawbreakers joke.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And I said, "Why are you always ragging on lawbreakers? What's your problem with lawbreakers?" And you went, "You're a prick, John."
I don't know what happened there. I must have
just obviously what you really think.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not going to say what I really think on the show. It's not.
Well, I think you already did.
No, I was sugarcoating it, really.
Matt, you seem to be, backing out of this. Like, if you're gonna act the big man, you got to back it up, right?
No, I've always liked John. I'm glad he's part of the show.
One day, Matt, I don't know when that day will be, but one day I'm going to appear behind you and I'm going to hurt you.
You're going to what?
Just know that. One day I'll appear behind you. Don't know where, don't know when, and I'm going to hurt you.
Okay.
Well, you're going to hurt him until Matt taps out because his head turns red again. Because we all know the story about the time that he asked John to choke him out and then bottled it just before he got
I bought it so many times. I really want John to choke me out.
Hang on, did this really happen?
This really happened,
yeah. Did anyone film it? And why haven't I seen it yet?
Everyone was too drunk.
We were so drunk.
I was like, just knock me out. Or whatever. And yeah, you got so close, and my head was like really throbbing at one point. I was like, okay, I'm really close, but I tapped out. I didn't have the balls.
Well, next time we'll make a gentleman's agreement that even if you tap, I won't let go, and we'll just do it.
Yeah, okay.
Was it like choking while you were doing it and stuff?
No, because it's just blood. It's just blood choke, so it's not the windpipe
it's just
at
blood
all.
Choke, James, yeah. But it was quite scary. It was much scarier than I thought it would be. But you probably shouldn't do it when you're drunk.
Well, that's because you're dying.
I felt like I was dying. I was tapping out.
But you'd be fine. You just wait a couple seconds later.
Next time we meet, you can choke me out.
I've told you what happens when that happens to me. I've been choked out a couple of times, but I've also been very, very close, about probably 15 times, where you just like go into a weird thing, and every single time it feels like you're instantly in a dream, and all I can see is a big yellow Bournemouth bus coming towards me. Like as if I'm about to get on the bus.
Wow.
And then I'm like, oh, and then you just wake up in the gym. It's fucking weird.
God,
but it's
imagine
funny.
if that's your afterlife.
I know, that's it.
Like everyone's afterlife is getting on a Bournemouth bus.
It's waiting for a bus. And it's coming the wrong way as well. It's weird. The door wouldn't be on that side. So, yeah, it's a weird one.
What do you mean? It's driving on the right?
Yeah. It's like, it's driving on the right.
Should we go on to follow up?
Exclusive look at heaven. I did have one bit of personal follow-up as well. Do you remember when Sean dropped that incredible anecdote about how he built a dinosaur in a magazine?
Mm-hmm.
I just remembered that I had the exact same magazine, so that story could have gone somewhere, but at the time it was just so fucking out of the blue and boring that we shut him down. So sorry about that, Sean. I'll be honest with you, I don't know where it would have gone. I haven't really added much.
Still boring.
Yeah, you just...
yeah,
you just doubled
I just said that I did that too.
Great story, Dave.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, follow-up. Let's do follow-up 40 minutes in. Matt King, just listening to the news section, and unfortunately I feel like Farley might have missed the main point of the Destiny 2 story he brought up. Sorry, James. I understand if you thought it's not worth revisiting this again, but I found it quite interesting. CNBC reporting that Destiny 2 was struggling came from the investing section, with the article based entirely on a report from Wall Street financial analysis firm Cohen's. The report warns clients and investors of potential losses. Basically, it's more about microtransaction value than actual player count. And yeah, that's basically it. So,
what does that mean, Matt?
I just thought, okay. The report warned the clients and investors of potential losses from Activision Blizzard based on the exodus of the player base and streamers, leading to a decrease in microtransaction value that could at least partially offset upside from COD in 2018. Basically,
so he's saying that the problem here is the decrease in microtransaction revenue, yeah?
Yeah.
But that's being caused also by the exodus of players, which is what we were talking about.
Well, also the fact that the microtransactions in Destiny aren't as insane as people were reporting initially. They're not. For starters, no one really buys them. I think that's the problem. No one really buys them, and if anything, that's just worrying because that means they're like, right. How can we make sure that people buy these microtransactions? And that's the thought process that's going to really piss people off. Like the result of that. So yeah. I guess that's what he's saying.
Yeah,
I guess I'm not reading it.
Yeah, it was saying, so now that Destiny 2 negativity has spread just beyond gaming community dissatisfaction into financial industry warnings, I wonder if we'll see Bungie's response to change gears. On a separate note, with the majority of patches to Destiny 2 just bringing back features from Destiny 1, can you still see Destiny surviving its 10-year cycle if it just means hitting factory reset every 3 years and slowly building it back up to what it once was? I mean, they've changed the multiplayer, haven't they? Haven't they put that back to 6 players, and they've made Iron Banner how it used to be, and they've changed the shaders, and
I reckon we're going to see Destiny 3 a lot sooner than we would have done. I think that's
if anything, I think we'll see it later, don't you? Destiny 2 needs to be fixed or doing a lot better before they can even think about putting money into it.
Because they might just decide to cut their losses and just be like, okay, let's...
bring out a brand new game? No, there's no way they're going to do that, is there? I can't see them doing that. When are you thinking then, James?
Well, not yet, obviously, but maybe another year or so down the line, they'll just be like, okay, we got this content coming out over this year, and then we're going to start just going on Destiny 3 instead.
God, if they do that, then they're going to drive it into the ground. I mean, people are dissatisfied by Destiny 2, but potentially maybe coming back on board when they hear about changes and improvements they make. And then there's another one they're like, oh, for fuck. I mean, I think that'd be a really negative thing.
Yeah, they can't do that. Yeah. Alright, okay.
James Middleton. Hi chaps, following on from last week's handcrafted free Xbox game story, I was surprised that nobody seemed to pick up the fact that this looks like an attempt by Microsoft to push the industry in the style of mobile style free to play. Surely this will only result in even more microtransactions and loot crates, and we all know how that worked out for Battlefront 2. Personally, as a consumer, I think it's a case of be careful what you wish for. While free games sound great, a digital marketplace would result in less choice, as in the titles you can actively purchase and the prices of the games. More subscriptions, more microtransactions, more loot crates, and more rants from Jim Sterling. These are all anti-consumer in the long run and reasons why people steered clear of the Xbox One in the first place.
I don't know how you've got there from that. I mean, the games that they're putting in there are not like known free-to-play games, are they? There's loads of games that... yeah, but what evidence have you got to suggest that that's the way they're going to go?
Is there? But what I'm saying, he's not saying there's evidence either, but he's just speculating that it could lead to... If developers are only getting like a small chunk of cash from having something on Game Pass, then they're going to try and find other ways to make money as well. So potentially, maybe they'll look at microtransactions as being a way to do that.
Okay. Well, I mean, if they do that and start ruining games, then I'll kick off about it, but I can't really get angry about it right now.
Yeah, and I think if they're going to be very cautious about people lapsing on their subscriptions, that $10 a month or whatever it is, that's going to be the main thing that they want people locked into that ecosystem. So yes, there may be the case where they fuck it up and push too hard, but I think given everything that's happened in the last 12 months in terms of loot boxes and microtransactions, I think they're going to be quite cautious. And remember, it's ultimately, while there's plenty of third-party stuff, I'm sure they're striking different deals for those third-party games that are appearing on there, but the new stuff's only going to be first-party from, pretty much, yeah, it's only first-party new stuff, isn't it? The other stuff is older. So, I think I'm not too concerned. Obviously, I don't want to get angry or stressed about anything that hasn't happened yet. But I know what he's saying. But, yeah, I'm not too stressed about it yet. I think Netflix makes their money by having people in their ecosystem. WWE Network makes money by having people in their ecosystem, not by nickel and diming them once they're in there. So I think if it's
true,
yeah.
But like I was saying last week, the other concern I think with this is like, what about the people that are not inside that ecosystem, and like what happens to them? If they're not bought into it, because people. As I said last week, I don't think people are going to go beyond the subscription if they do that to buy other stuff. It's a bit like, like if you have like Amazon Prime like Video, how often do you like open up Amazon Prime Video and then just think, okay, I'm going to buy other stuff on this service? No one does that. Everyone just looks for what the free videos are.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
True.
I think it's more about, this is more about capturing the market that we're never going to buy a game at £60. Rather than getting the fans that buy it day one regardless. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more about trying to get them involved than it is about getting us involved. But
you went on last week, John. What do you think about this new Game Pass stuff?
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I'm already a subscriber. So brilliant for me, because I am the marketers and the strategist dream of this stuff. I do get these memberships and then forget about them. I am that person. So, I did what did we get through with the X?
We got a 2-week trial.
Didn't we get, I'm sure I got longer than that, or was something else.
Well, I haven't opened mine, I'm saving mine.
But yeah, I've left it on. But it's actually really good already. The service is really good. I just downloaded Halo Wars 2 today, Rime today. I know that's free on PlayStation Plus this month as well. And a bunch of old shit that, just like Golden Axe and loads of stuff that I can show Elliot. So I already think it's a good service and it's about to get amazing. So, I'm pumped about the whole thing. If that's the way it's going, like I much, much, much rather have this than a streaming service, where the technology is right now, like PlayStation Now. I tried that. For me and my broadband at the time, it didn't work properly, whereas this is obviously downloading the games properly. It's great for the consumer. It's game-changing, really, but I now sit with EA Access and Xbox Game Pass, plus Games with Gold, plus PS Plus, ton of free games. But at the same time, I'm still paying money for games, but that's because I've got a serious problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got, like you just said, John, I've also got a trial on my when I got my X, and I haven't used that yet. So I'll use that when Sea of Thieves comes out, and I've got the game for a month. And
isn't there a clause saying that for brand new games you can't? It's not part of the free trial offer.
Probably.
Have a look. Have a look.
It probably is. Yeah. But even if that's the case,
I could be totally wrong there, but
I'll still pay like £8, for a month. And if we're still paying in 2 months' time, then that's still cheaper than buying a full game.
Yeah, no. So I'm thinking exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I saw something in the small print about that, but I could be wrong. So it'd be worth double checking, so you're not just like completely relying on that.
Oh yeah. Next bit of feedback is from Bino. This is about me and my streams, but it's probably worth mentioning. Good evening, gentlemen. I hope you're all well. I always enjoy the podcast. So this isn't feedback on that. It's about the streaming, and more to the point, Matt's streaming of Dark Souls. I love it, he says. I've just finished watching Matt finally beat Quaylag. Is it Quaylag? Yeah, Quaylag.
Quaylag, yeah.
It took almost 2 hours. To people that are not used to the game or used to seeing the game streamed, that will feel like a very, very long time, and it is. However, Matt, to the people that come to watch Dark Souls being streamed, we expect this. Please remember this, because I feel that when watching, you are apologising for a lack of progress this week. Matt, this game is known for being hard, being punishing. You do not need to apologise just because you're getting killed over and over. Again, we expect this. We expect to die over and over, mainly because the majority of people who are watching have done exactly that. That's the whole appeal, watching someone fail over and over until they succeed. Every little thing you get done is progress. Last week you got to a new bonfire, that's progress. You then got to beat Quaylag this week. You then got to Quaylag. This week you beat Quaylag, that's progress. Next week something else might happen, or it might not. It doesn't matter. We'll sit and watch and offer shite advice, which David would ever remind you of. Rule number 1, do not listen to the chat. Rightly so, especially when it's Andy's advice. Matt, you're doing very well, so stop fucking...
Andy's giving good advice,
isn't he? Andy's giving solid advice, actually. Matt, you're doing very well, so stop fucking about and going on about lack of progress and stop apologising for it. Stop trying to rush into bosses because you feel lack of progress is all you're going to do to get yourself more frustrated as you're making silly mistakes like rolling into lava and attacks. Calm down, have a sip of your Heineken and go again. Also, I have to say, Scientologist is a terrible mod, just putting that out there. And that's from Beano. I've got to agree. I sort of freak out during every stream, and after every stream I'm like, oh, that was bollocks. Because I just feel like, I understand that watching Dark Souls, part of that is seeing people fail, but like at least some people are probably failing and learning. But I feel like
you're worried about it too much.
Mate. Yeah,
you're not going to sit down for 2 hours and breeze through the game.
I think Quaylag took me a lot longer than that, and I wasn't streaming it.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I obviously, the thing about streaming is you're trying to also entertain and make sure it's watchable. But like, if I'm getting frustrated, I'm like, God, why are you watching this? I've been told multiple times to stop watching, which I know isn't good for viewers.
Not going to do well for the numbers. Matt, James, you had trouble with Quaylag as well, didn't you?
Yeah, it took me quite a few attempts, and also I had the egghead problem as well, which was irritating.
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah, Matt avoided that.
It's probably best that you find out yourself.
Oh, actually, I think...
Well, no, I don't know if you can.
You had an egg on your head, didn't you? Is that the thing?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. I don't have that. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, no, because people were like proper laying into me about my advice last night. I can't believe they told him to use a shield. Like, I just thought... I mean, I didn't have that much trouble with Quaylag. I think I did it on my 4th or 5th try. And that's not being big man, because you can't be big man about...
you can't be big man.
No, you can't be big man about Dark Souls, because everyone gets stuck in different bits. Like, you'll breeze through stuff that I really struggled with, I'm sure. But it's like, just I'm telling him the way that I did it. And everyone else is telling him the way that people that have played it for hundreds of hours have done it. And it's just like, don't listen to them, Matt. Just don't listen to them. Play your own game. Work out your own strengths. We all want you to finish this.
Yeah, I mean, I will finish it. I will keep going again, and I am enjoying it, but I also just worry about it being shit. And I
get it, because you want it to be good, but honestly, I think, the reason the game is so successful on Twitch, and the same goes for like PUBG and a few others, the game itself is so entertaining and so difficult, and people know that everything, like Bino says, Bino always speaks the truth. But everybody has been through that. They know that failure, and that is actually, like he says, part of the entertainment. So yeah, when you're streaming some games, you need to be that guy. I found it when I was doing. You need to be sort of happy and excited the whole time. It's kind of exhausting. But like in Dark Souls, it's the game. People are there to see you playing that game and experiencing that game. So. Yeah,
also,
don't worry, mate. You're killing it. You're doing really well, like actually better than I thought you would. So.
Just a quick one as well, right? Summoning isn't a bad thing. Like if you need to summon to get through it, it's fine.
Myself though, I would have felt a lot better.
You're not
killing Quelaag if I'd done it on my own, but as is, get that person in, do a few hits, and she was dead. So I know it's not cheating, but it definitely feels like I robbed myself of something.
You're not robbing yourself of anything. Sometimes you need a little helping hand, and even then, summoning is not a helping hand really, because it makes the boss harder when you do it. So
I
don't
know
worry about
what you're saying, because I felt that a little bit myself on a couple of the bosses in the game that I did summon for. But ultimately, you're not going to finish Dark Souls without some extremely memorable boss fights that you conquered on your own. You've already had it, Capra Demon, some others. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. I get it, but you could always go back and do it another day on your,
point.
Off stream or whenever. But
for real.
Yeah.
For
you're
real.
You're doing really well. You're killing it.
So speaking about the feedback, Chod UK saying, can't believe they breezed in, said we were giving shit advice, then gave shit advice, then breezed off, never to be seen again, leaving us to pick up the pieces.
That does sound like Dave.
How did they pick up the pieces? What did they do?
I can't remember.
Just sat there and comment and post their little fucking emojis or whatever.
Emotes, yeah. And then Bino pops up
actually saying, them.
What's your beef with the emotes, whatever?
No, I haven't got beef with them specifically, but it's like, we had to pick up the pieces by putting little sarky comments in the fucking chat. No, that's all you did. You didn't fix anything. You just like start in the chat and shit. I really don't like the people that watch you stream.
Bino responded, please not criticise the main one. His single act of saying you won't get this done tonight gave Matt all the motivation he needed, which is very true.
That was the way I went, John. I turned around to him and said, you're not going to get this done tonight, give up.
Classic.
And then I know what that does to Matt.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I'm getting it done.
I think you said at first, you're not getting it done tonight, and then you changed saying, you're not getting it done on this stream, knowing full well that I would happily play till 3 a.m. to get it done if it meant beating you. So, thank you. I mean, I got it done, and I think I rang a second bell. I might as well talk right now. Rang a second bell, and I guess on Sen's Fortress or somewhere else, that's Blighttown done, and we'll see what happens next on Dark Souls.
You're very welcome, Matt. You're very welcome.
A bit more SMW with regards to Dave's fears about the content in Sea of Thieves. We have had loads of journalists visit them this week to show them loads of new stuff, not in the beta embargo. It lifts on the 13th of Feb, so hopefully it will be good news.
Yeah, I mean, I've got absolute faith in it. I've got total faith in it, and I think we haven't seen what that game's all about yet.
Yeah.
So and what it does already is a lot of fun. So I can't wait. I'm properly looking forward to that game now.
Yeah. And so when is it out? End of March. Yeah.
End of March.
March 20th. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't play the beta, but if you guys obviously all get it, I'm well excited for that at the very least. Last bit of feedback: Renegade 6Killer on Twitter. If when David Turner said which games didn't get noticed because they weren't on PS Plus, James Farley simply had to say future unfolding, then his argument would have been more successful. Open goal missed. Also, David forgets that Sony offers the PlayStation Now subscription service, which is now starting to include games like PS4 games as well as PS3 ones. Could easily
no, you can't compare that.
Could easily be tweaked to compete with the Microsoft offering if they wanted to. Dave, you said you were wanting to respond on the pod and not over Twitter.
Yeah, was it? So he's saying PS Now could easily be compared to Microsoft's
it said
it
could easily be tweaked to compete with Microsoft's.
The only way it could be tweaked
how's
is
that?
if they.
What would you mean by tweaked?
The only way it could be tweaked is if it allowed downloads, but that's impossible. So I don't see how.
If it allowed downloads. B, if it had games on it that were as relevant as the Microsoft offering is. Look, I get it, right? If you've picked a side, if you're picking Sony, then you want them to be the best, you know what I mean? And you want to come up with these counter arguments for what Microsoft are offering. There's no comparison with that. What Microsoft are doing with backwards compatibility and this subscription service is miles ahead of what Sony have on offer. PS Now is shocking. I mean, I used it, about 2 years ago. And all right, my broadband's a little bit faster now, but I'm telling you, the one dip in quality that I think is down to that, psychologically, I'll go, this is shit, I don't want to do it, I'd rather download the game. You know what I mean? It's just not, you can't compare it. As for the future unfolding thing, I don't know why that wasn't noticed. I don't think it was anything to do with PS Plus. I mean, for starters, it wasn't noticed on Steam before it come out on PS4, so I don't think it was down to that at all. I think there was other issues in getting that in players' hands and explaining what the game is, and getting people to see it through to the end. To say, well, yeah, if you say that's because of PS Plus, I'd have probably gone, well, not necessarily. I don't think that was the case.
Yeah, I mean, I know I don't like the game, but you three do, so it's not even about that. I think with that game, like, what's the story behind that game? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the story of the game? Like, with all these indie hits, stuff that blows up, there tends to be some sort of story, some sort of narrative that makes up for the lack of marketing budget to get that stuff out there. What's the story behind Future Unfolding? A game with a weird fucking name, sounds like it should have paper in it. I'm just talking from like the guys strolling through the store, seeing 600 games, trying to pick what to buy. It's difficult.
For me, it was the visuals. That's what got me interested in the first place. But that's a very subjective thing, and some people might look at it and go, "Oh, it looks too weird."
But how do you even get them to see the visuals? How do you
exactly?
Even, yeah. So I think it was just a your classic discovery problem, really.
Through the net. Yeah. Slip through that net.
That is it for feedback. If you want to leave us any feedback or whatever, anything you want to say to us, it's at Computer Game Pod on Twitter, or you can email thecomputergameshow@gmail.com.
Excellent. Thanks, Matthew. James, what have Eurogamer been writing about this week?
Quite a lot of things, but mostly Nintendo. There's a whole bunch of Nintendo things. The first one we got is that...
I mean, it's an exciting it's an exciting time for Nintendo to be around, isn't it? Because they are doing amazing stuff and insane stuff on a daily basis now, and it's getting more and more fun by the week.
So the first of these we got is that Nintendo have confirmed the Mario movie. So that's definitely happening now. And it's being made by Illumination Entertainment, which is the people
that guys that did Minions, Despicable Me and stuff like that, which is a great shout, because I was listening to an interview with Trey Parker, who voices the villain in the latest Despicable Me thing. And they were saying, look, you're the South Park guy, right? And you do all your own stuff. You don't go and do guest appearances on things. Why are you in Despicable Me 3? And he said, well, I like Pixar films and I like Illumination films, but the one thing that I noticed that Illumination films are just more fun. You can appreciate Pixar stuff, and he's totally right. Pixar stuff are on another level. I love their movies. I really genuinely love those movies, and I prefer them to the Illumination stuff, but they're so much fucking fun. And then I'm hearing people talk about this Mario movie. Well, they should do this and they shouldn't do that. And I'm like, that's not what that company is about. They're making this film for kids, and they've gone to the kids, the expert in kids films. Like Despicable Me, Minions, whatever you think of them as an adult, kids fucking love them. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see how they sort of handle the many hurdles that they've got to get over. Like they were talking about on Giant Beastcast we've mentioned this before, but Charles Martinet is going to voice the whole thing, and they're saying, I hope so. He's a good voice actor. Go and watch some of Nintendo's YouTube stuff that he's on, where he's voicing Mario, and literally after about 3 minutes of Mario talking in it, you're thinking, oh god, this is really starting to great. So I don't know, man. There's a lot. They've got to get over a lot of hurdles to create a good Mario film, but I can't imagine another company doing it better than them. So I'm excited.
It's going to be absolutely massive, isn't it? I mean,
and also Miyamoto is apparently going to be co-producing as well. So
his heavy involvement. We don't know what that means. There's different levels of producing a film. There's writing checks. There's being a lot more artistically involved. But you've got to feel that if Miyamoto's putting his name on it, it's going to have a little bit of involvement from him and some decisions made. So, it's going to be fun. Exciting times. It's great to see Mario coming back. It's really exciting to see it. It's all good. I was happy with that news.
The next thing we got is they've announced Mario Kart Tour for smartphones, which is going to come out apparently before March 2019. And so that's it's quite a way off, probably. There's no clue yet whether it's going to be paid or free to play.
Well, this is it. We don't know. They've got two routes they can go down. They're either going to go down the Animal Crossing route or they're going to go down the Mario Run route. Sorry?
I'd imagine they'll probably go down the same route as Animal Crossing, because Fire Emblem Heroes has been far and away their most successful one, mostly because of people like Matt. And I don't know if they'll do the same as they did with Mario Run.
Yeah, I'm sure
they definitely won't. I mean, I feel like that they themselves, I didn't say they got burnt, but it didn't meet their expectations. I don't think they're going to make that same mistake again. I mean, maybe they'll do it, but it's only like £2 or £4, but £9 for Mario Run was or £8, whatever it was too much. I think free to play seems like the way they're going to do it for this one.
It'd be interesting. Okay,
yeah,
fine.
Are any of you interested? I mean, I'm not. I've got a Switch and
I have no interest
Mario
in this
Kart,
whatsoever.
so I'll download it and have a go. But I'm not like Mario Kart on a handheld console, amazing.
No,
that's what they've got to compete with now. Kids have got Switches. You know what I mean? They're carrying around a very good Mario Kart game. Now, it's a different type of thing, and you're not always carrying your Switch about or whatever. But I've not got high hopes for it. And I definitely won't download it to my phone because I don't want my son holding my phone ever. So Joe will probably get it at some point, but I don't know. Whatever. Okay, fine.
So then the other big news was that the Switch paid online is actually coming now in September, which seems to be a bit of a change, because I think they originally say they were pushing it back towards the end of this year, but then now it's definitely still coming in September now.
No, it was supposed to come out at the end of last year.
Yeah.
And then it got just straight up delayed again. They didn't announce a date, and then this is them announcing the date. The confusing thing with this was that when they tweeted the news story out about it being dated, that it linked to what looked like an old website that had information on it that they'd already said that they were changing.
Yeah.
So either they've gone back on what they've said and haven't announced that they've gone back on it, or they just left old information up there. It's weird.
Well, I mean, according to this now, it's €20 a year. So that's like £17.50.
Yeah, so
which probably means £20 here.
Yeah, so that was already confirmed. The only news out of all the stuff, the actual new thing was just the fact of September. Everything else was announced already before.
And it's also really not clear. Like, so many bits of this are really not clear. Like, the website still says ongoing access to a library of classic games with added online play, such as Mario Bros. 3, Balloon Flight, and Dr. Mario. But it's still not entirely clear what that really means. As in, whether that's going to be a library which is going to just continue to grow, or whether it's going to be something where it's there for like a couple of months and they just switch the games around to, to something else or whatever.
Well, that's what they went back on, right?
Yeah, they've already gone back on that. So.
Well, no, what they went back on was saying that you would get one game that would last for 1 month and then it would change to another one. Whereas now they're saying there's going to be an ongoing access to a library of games. But then, like I said, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a library where, like, if for example the first game, Super Mario Bros. 3, maybe it's in the library for like a while, but then they switch it around later or something like that. We don't know. There's no detail. I mean, there's this whole thing that people always keep saying at the moment about, they're going to like release their whole, like, all the virtual console games and everything. It's going to be like a Netflix for games and all that kind of stuff. But I just can't see that happening. Because Nintendo rarely, if ever, give anything away for free, or for like very little money, and they love getting people to pay again and again for like Super Mario Brothers or whatever. I think this is going to be a situation where there is going to be like an ongoing library, but they'll just keep changing the content around like over time, and it'll be like really like a sort of an incentive to think, okay, I want to keep this for good, so I'll buy it from the Virtual Console or whatever.
Do you know what weirds me out a little bit? And I mean, we kind of knew this going in, but I paid £50 for Splatoon 2,
mm-hmm.
and to continue playing it after that date, I have to pay to play it.
Yeah, that's also weird, yeah. And also,
it's like, where do you sit with that?
Mm. Also, the app is still going to be the main method as well by which the service, in inverted commas, is going to work. And I mean, like Eurogamer said, oh yeah, they've like fixed all the problems with it. But is that true? Because I don't know anyone who's
no, absolutely
who
not.
It.
You load it up, it works for one game. Yeah. One game. Like they've got ARMS, they've got. That was the other one as well. Like they said, not all online games will require the service, right? But it will be specifically mentioned if it doesn't require the service. Do you think this balloon mode in Mario Odyssey, you're going to have to pay to play that?
I would say yes, but
I'd say no because that's coming out before this happens. I reckon what they'll do is
hold on,
Splatoon.
Splatoon was already out.
Splatoon's out, and you got to pay for
I don't think maybe they won't charge for Splatoon either because it's already out. Well, no, because that's
what
weird.
What are they going to charge for then?
Well, anything that ongoing, I guess. I don't know.
No,
maybe they will go back.
That'd be way too confusing. Because then we're like, okay, this game come up before September or not? No,
but it's like David said though. This is going to really annoy people though, who are like they've been playing Splatoon for ages or whatever, and then suddenly they're like, you've got to pay a load of money now so you can continue playing it.
Fucking Rocket League as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, parents are going to get fucked off, right? That don't follow this sort of news. And then suddenly their kid's game doesn't work, and they look into it, and it's, oh yeah, you've got to pay to play online now.
But on the other hand, didn't Sony do this with PlayStation 3 like online? Because wasn't that initially free, and then they brought in PlayStation Plus, which then made it so you had to pay?
No, they did that when the PlayStation 4 came out at launch.
Really? Oh, okay.
The PS3 stayed for free.
Stayed online, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
And PlayStation
but
Plus
then you
was
could
just
pay
the free games. Well, the game, you paid for an access to the vault.
Yep. So, I mean, this is weird. I'd love to know how they're going to deal with this because
I'm sure they probably would love to know as well. It's just
it's potentially a big, complete fuck up from them. But we'll have to wait and see. And who knows? Like people might just go, yeah, it's fine, just pay it, and it's not an issue. But I don't know. For me, it just seems like just dodgy territory that they're stepping into. And if they were to announce that actually any game that you're playing online now is not, you don't need the online service to play, then that makes more sense. But then what the fuck are they charging for? Because there's not exactly a healthy stream of online games announced for the Switch at the moment, is there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
It's confusing, but it's Nintendo, isn't it?
So then, the last piece of news we got is Red Dead Redemption 2 has been delayed now until October. So this is coming 26th of October. Originally, this was going to be late 2017. Then it became Q1, Q2 2018. But now it's delayed until October, and because Rockstar said they need more time to polish the game.
I mean, we always say this when this news comes out about a game. I'm glad they're doing that and not releasing a half-finished game. But I mean, we all sort of assume that would be the case, right?
I mean, they normally release games in May. So this might get another delay. Who knows?
It is bizarre that it's coming out towards the holiday season.
Yeah, well,
because,
GTA 5
that's
came
not
out
a Rockstar thing.
In September.
There was that speculation that's why one of the reasons why Anthem has been delayed until next year now, because they didn't want to go up against like Red Dead.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah, but like Dave said, just delay it until it's done. I don't give a fuck. Got other stuff to do.
There's too much stuff to play anyway.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
The thing is, I mean, Rockstar they've got the money that they can delay it until it's an incredible game, and as we've just said, that's definitely the best thing to do.
And those new screenshots.
How the fuck are we going to fund it? How are we going to fund it? Like, it's going to cost us money. I don't know, just put cars with wings on it in GTA Online. Oh, shit, we've made another £1 billion. It's fine, exactly. We're all right again.
The new screenshots they released just looks mind-blowing, doesn't it?
Yeah, so good.
See, I didn't know anything about this at all. As in, like, I haven't really been following it because I kind of wanted to just wait and see what happened when it came out. But because I didn't know it was a prequel, like, to the first game. I thought
we've spoken about it on the show several times.
Yeah, I know. I just blocked it out completely.
He doesn't listen to the bits where you talk, Dave.
What's that?
He doesn't listen to the bits where you talk.
Well, not many people do, John. Not many people do. That's why Matt keeps fucking up his test recordings and stuff. All right, go on.
That's it. That's the last piece.
Cool. All right. Should we get to what we've been playing?
Yeah, we should do. We are like an hour and 20 minutes in, we should probably talk.
I apologise. I've sent them a message this morning saying that I think it's going to be a long one. Turns out it is. Shouldn't have done the Mario game, really. Let's go. John, what have you been playing?
Okay, so I'll kick things off quickly with Celeste. You guys talked about it last week. I was very happy that you picked up on a game I've been banging on about, we had high hopes about for a while. I haven't finished it yet. I played it on the plane, and then the Rocket League kind of gripped me, as we talked about earlier, but I'm on chapter 4 of 7, I believe. Is that right, James?
Yeah.
And I echo basically everything that you said last week. Just fantastic, beautifully designed. Seems like it's going to be going somewhere as well, narratively. If it goes to where, I'll probably talk about this more next week, but if it goes to where I assume it's going to narratively as well, what a fantastic place where we are, where a game can be kind of allegory rather than just like directly talking about something. You know, most games, most story-driven games are a story, you know, this happens, these are the characters, whereas Celeste, there's story, little beats here and there and little bits of dialogue. But yeah, like I say, the whole game seems to be allegory for something, which I'll know by the end of by finishing it by next week's podcast. But yeah, just Matt Thorson, the guy behind Towerfall, and some other stuff before that, which I have never played, is just an extremely, extremely talented game designer, and him with his little team of programmers and artists have made something quite special, using very similar mechanics to Towerfall, as we spoke about. There's some Meat Boy in there, but it's strangely, I mean, calling it more precise than Meat Boy is probably not necessarily true, but it's more deliberate in the movement. It's like with the 8 directions and the dash and all the new mechanics that each chapter introduces. The music's fantastic. I'm really happy to see that it seems to be doing well as well. And, you know, he has a bit of a following, but it does seem like a lot of people are buying it, getting involved. The reviews have been amazing. So, just happy about that. And yeah, I intend to finish that by next week, so I can give full and final appraisal. There's another game that I'm sure will get talked about on this podcast, a very, very big game the last couple of weeks in Monster Hunter that I, unfortunately, due to some work-related reasons, I can't talk about, and I just wanted to put that out there now, so if you wonder why I'm silent later when it comes to that game, that's just unfortunately the situation I'm in with work and contracts. Are you just
teeing up another nap? Is that what's going on?
A nap?
Yeah.
Oh, what do you mean?
Oh, I can't talk about it because I want to go to sleep during that bit. Or wake up again.
No.
Sorry, John, you've got form. You have done this before.
Well, it wasn't a nap. I fell asleep like bedtime. I wasn't going to wake back up.
I'm recording a pod.
Is that too long for a podcast titled, Matt? I fell asleep like bedtime?
No, that's fine.
Good. So that's it. That's what you've been playing, is it?
No. So there's a document with another game on there, and it's called EA UFC 3, which I've been playing. I have actually reviewed this game on Trusted Reviews, so you can go and read my review, my full thoughts on there, should you wish. But I would highly recommend staying here for more interesting thoughts. So everybody knows what this is. Third UFC game from EA, the fourth MMA game from EA after they did EA MMA, which I really liked. Other people didn't really get. And I know you guys aren't massively interested in this particular game, so I won't hang about too long. But basically, they've massively redone the striking. All the rest of the game is the same. As a grappler myself, what they've done, or haven't done indeed, with the grappling makes me feel a little bit sick because it's so shit. But on the feet, it's probably the most realistic, most enjoyable, most technical sort of true combat sports game ever released, including boxing games. They've redesigned the striking. They've made it slightly convoluted on the sticks and thumbs. You have to press multiple button presses just to do things like hooks, but it's all for the benefit of being able to move while you can strike. And if you go and play any of the older MMA games, you'll notice, or even most boxing games, you can't actually... Your feet are pretty much planted when you're throwing punches or throwing kicks. And so you may move different directions to throw different types of punches and kicks or whatever. But if you ever watch a fight, obviously people are moving laterally, they're sliding in and out, they're moving their heads and stuff like that. And EA UFC has created a whole new system around that, and it's very, very well done, and it's extremely satisfying. You can slip out of the way of an incoming strike while moving to the right, like Conor McGregor, technically, he'd be moving to the left, fire back with a counter. The physics in the game, registers all of that stuff, so if the guy's head's moving towards you and you've slipped their punch and you can catch them at the right part of their jaw, it's going to cause way more damage. You might drop them straight away. And I've had some fantastic fights online, some fantastic fights in the career mode as well, just using this completely reworked striking. It's not perfect. There are some moments where things go a little bit glitchy in classic EA UFC style. And again, I'm extremely disappointed that while the striking has undergone this huge rework, that the ground game and the grappling and the clinch work, the other main fundamental aspects of this very complicated but very deep sport have just been untouched. And while that stuff's extremely difficult to put in a game, I'm sure what they've managed to do with the striking is so impressive that you think that they really need to do some work with that stuff. But I guess that'll probably be EA UFC 4. Online's really good. There's like a divisions mode, not dissimilar to FIFA's seasons, where you can work your way up. You can have title fights by winning a certain amount of fights in a row. It connects quickly. There's very little lag. And then rounding out the package, talks about career mode briefly and stuff like that. That's as you'd expect. Rounding out the package is Ultimate Team, which caused a big fucking stink a few weeks ago when the beta got released. So you remember hearing about all this story and people backlash?
Yeah, I was just about to ask you if they've got an alternative to that.
Yeah.
But I remember there being a bit of an uproar.
So there's a big uproar about how, obviously, it's Ultimate Team, so it goes without saying that there's loot boxes, they're card packs, because that's what Ultimate Team is and always has been before loot boxes were even a discussion point. And FIFA's, to be honest, always been probably the most egregious example of that. And that stuff's in EA UFC, and I think that a lot of articles came out around the beta, people jumping on it who, in my opinion, hadn't even really played the game or really understood the game. And you'll get a card pack and say you get Conor McGregor in your card pack, and he'll be in your 4 fighters that you can take into online games. And you're not getting the real Conor McGregor, right? You're getting the Conor McGregor character with kind of base moves, and then other cards you can add certain types of moves. It's a weird system. It's weird to fight a guy who is, technically a wrestler in real life who suddenly doesn't have a takedown because they haven't got the card for that. But quite quickly you amass enough cards to basically deck all your fighters out with moves, and then you go in and you never know what quite. Okay, right, I'm fighting Max Holloway, famous UFC fighter, but I don't know what Max Holloway I'm going to face right now. Whereas in the normal online, you know exactly what Max Holloway you're going to face. He's going to fight like he does in real life. So it's kind of interesting in that respect. And what people kicked off about is the fact that, like, they felt hugely nickel and dimed that you have to be replacing every single move. Costs money, it doesn't. And then there's perks and stuff on top of that. Honestly, I played a ton of Ultimate Team. It's the mode I've played the most. I think it's fun, unusual, it's interesting, it's kind of weird. There has never been a point where I felt stitched over by the fact that somebody feels way more powerful than I do because the matchmaking is decent. And there's never been a point where I feel like I really need to buy some gold packs. Now, if it gets to the point where...
So it's not true that you can't pin unless you buy like a £20 card?
No, I mean, pinning isn't really a thing anyway, but there are some characters who don't have takedowns, which is weird, and I think that's a weird omission, because that's like just a basic fundamental, but you can get a card to give your guy a takedown in the first card pack that you get, the most base level card pack that you're going to get from having, one fight. You'll get 3 of those card packs. There'll be takedowns in there. You can put that same move on all 4 of your fighters. It's not an issue. Like, it's just not.
I've never liked the card can't even think of a game where I've actually enjoyed it. Have any games done it well? Like,
it's just depends what you mean by well. Don't you play? Isn't it quite similar to? What do you mean you don't like the card system? Like, you don't like? I mean,
I've never got excited opening up a pack of cards, thinking, okay, what's this? What players these in FIFA? What moves they in UFC? Or what? I mean, even like Tomb Raider had it, Halo wasn't a fan of those either. I just can't think of a game where card systems probably made me excited. Well, I mean,
the millions of people would disagree with you on FIFA, I think, but
of course, yeah.
And to be honest, like, you open a pack and I got a gold Demetrius Johnson. I know you probably don't know who that is, or maybe you do. But he's one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Yeah,
I was like, fucking wicked, and they gave me a little buzz. I know I'm being tricked. I'm being hook, line, sinkered. This is the whole thing, but. People get that when they get their gold Messis and Ronaldos in FIFA. So it's a weird mode. I think the important thing is that, unlike a Battlefront, where there is no way of playing that game without seeing a loot box, without getting sucked into this maddening, baffling grind of nonsense just to play the game, whether you spend spend real money or not, you can play EA UFC 3, you can play FIFA 18 as well, without ever seeing any of that shit. You can play a full career mode, you can play like weird stuff like the knockout mode that has Snoop Dogg commentating, and then you can play the full online mode without ever seeing a card pack, without ever seeing a microtransaction, without ever seeing any of that stuff. It's here in this other mode. I'd imagine once you get to the highest levels, if you were to put in 80, 100 hours into that, you probably would start having to spend some money to compete. That's how these things work. But compared to the articles that were coming out, it was just, like I always say, man, when you get that outraged about everything, then it makes the stuff that's really important and really bad, or in any subject, it just dilutes it all. So this was a classic example of that as far as I'm concerned. This stuff it's tepid. I know people would rather it wasn't in there, but do you know what? It's fine. It's fine. And maybe it gets bad towards 80 hours in, but that's a discussion with that direct community, and then their opinions would go to the dev team. I don't think it needs to be a discussion for everybody. I don't think the person who's never going to play EA UFC 3 ever, is never going to watch MMA, does not know who anybody is apart from Conor McGregor, needs to have an opinion on whether UFC's microtransactions are bad. Like, you're just going to make yourself upset, and it's just going to fucking just muddy the waters of all the stuff like Battlefront, which was pretty shit in terms of that stuff. So yeah, that's my thoughts. But overall, like, in terms of the standout game, in terms of the striking, just a beautiful representation of the sport, and the rest of it disappointing. But overall, I gave it 3.5 stars on their scoring system. I'm enjoying playing it a lot.
Nice one.
Cool.
So graphically, is it a big improvement over last year's, or is it more the same?
Because of the animation and the fact it looks really nice on the X, yes. But if you look at screenshots, they look pretty much the same. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
No more questions, Matt?
Oh, what's wrong with that? We're having a chat.
It's
just a one person talks. One person talks and nobody else talks. Yeah, but there's
listeners want us to move on.
There's moving things forward, and then there's just like, you talk, everybody else not talk. You talk, everybody else not talk. Right, see you later next week. Emails are here. And what's the point in that? That's just stupid. I appreciate the question, Matt. I appreciate it.
Ask the listeners that tune in to hear me talk every week. Right, Matt, we need to talk about Disk Driving 2, don't we?
You cut me off for this shit.
I did, yeah, because last week, right, I did give you a bit of shit about talking about this game, but I think there's an interesting, funny story out of this, because, I mean, what are your opinions on the game and what they've done to it?
Well, we should probably talk about what it is first. So,
well, I mean, you talked about it last week for far too long. It's a disc drive. It's a game where you flick a disc along a track.
Game. All right, sweet.
And it's not very good. Can we just explain why it's not very good?
Because they basically horrendously overcomplicated the game with. So before it was incredibly simple. There was like 5 power-ups which you flick through. And there's like a boost, or you can stop, or you can go invisible. You can drop an oil slick. That was basically it. You take your move. You have one swipe. You do a power up if you want to. If not, wait for the other person to do a move. That's it. First one to the end wins. First one past finish line wins. Now there's tons of different abilities, some of which you haven't unlocked because you haven't got enough coins. You get coins after each win. There's like daily races, and if you do enough of them, you get enough coins. Again, you need to save up the coins to get abilities. Like Stop, one of the most basic abilities, wasn't in there until you hit rank 5, because of course there's a leveling system now because it's 2018. And
so Matt,
the game
would you
say
this is
what?
Would you say this is basically a game that's been ruined by microtransactions?
It's certainly been affected, but what I was going to say is the game that I've played every single day for multiple rounds a day, every single day since I got my first iPhone. This is a completely different game, really. It's not just a sequel of some minor alterations and changes. They've totally changed the pure gameplay that it was before.
Well, hold on. So, James, I see what you're saying there, and I get what you're saying. It's not the microtransactions that's ruined this game.
Poorly implemented microtransactions.
It is the implementation, because now, right,
it's
so
not
this was a straight up...
I'll disagree with that. It's like the coin stuff is a microtransaction. That's like an in-game currency.
That's not true, because you unlock. You've got, say, Boost, for example, which you can unlock through XP. You can improve that, level up the boost through microtransactions.
But you can also improve it just through coins. Microtransactions are like a result of
through coins that you also can buy.
Yeah. But also you can earn them. I think the issue is not the fact you can buy things. The issue is that you have to earn everything. That's the issue.
Matt, right, okay, so the reason why I wanted to talk about this game, they've implemented this stuff, and there's coin-based stuff and XP-based stuff, right? And the coin-based stuff is not just cosmetic stuff, it's abilities, powering up abilities and stuff like that, right? You can earn them. It takes a while to earn one card, and the way it does it, it's like loot boxes, but they're called cards. You get a card, and it tells you what you've got. You either unlock a new style of disc, or you unlock an XP boost for your abilities and stuff like that. Right, so they've pissed off all their fans with all this shit. Like, people don't feel like they're in a game on a level playing field anymore. They feel that people who either play this a hell of a lot more, have much more of an advantage, or people that have piled money into it have much more of an advantage. And they're right, because they have. The problem was, last night, there was an error in the game where clearly it was taking a while to send a turn, so I'd swipe, and it would go to send that turn to Matt, but it would take a while, so you would sort of close the app and reload it and try again and close it, but it kind of had gone through, and every time you did that, it was repeatedly trying to put that move through, which was in the background of the app, thinking that you're taking like millions of moves in the space of seconds. So anyway, I logged back in and I looked down and I had 250 cards waiting for me, and I thought, that's weird. So I opened up my inventory, and at the top it showed that I had 1.2 million coins, in-game currency, 1.2 million. And I did the maths, and it worked out as the in-game currency it gave me £13,500 worth of microtransaction coins. Like, they have completely fucked up this game on so many levels. Like, I can't even imagine working in the office of the developers for that. Just going, right, okay, don't worry, people are angry, but the money will be coming in, because all this stuff we pissed them off with, people will be spending money on it, and we will get paid out of this. And then they get the first tweet saying, yeah, why have I got 1.2 million coins out of nowhere? And then they see the error and think, fuck, they've absolutely fucked it. I mean, part of me was thinking, was this some weird sort of marketing thing to get people talking about it on Twitter? But I thought, no, because they want everyone spending money on this. Like, there's no way they would do that. Just give everyone £13,000 worth of in-game currency. Like, what? That's fucking insane.
Fucking hell, Dave.
It's insane.
Oh,
what
are you talking about? I can't believe you cut me off for this story. This has been 40 minutes. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about a game that's set up, right, and taken the risk of pissing off their fans by adding microtransactions in it, and then completely wiping it out by essentially giving everyone a ridiculous amount of in-game currency. Don't you think you don't care about that, no?
What? Not on this game.
All right, we'll go and take a nap then. Anyway, right.
Okay. So after all that, so I've played for like 5 days now, and first impressions were bad, but I am definitely warming to it. One of the big things now is you have... Actually, this is fucking boring, but anyway, okay, regardless.
You're right over there, James. How are you holding up, mate?
I'm warming to it.
I don't know. I mean, how much have you spent, Matt?
Well, he hasn't needed to. He's been given 1.2 million coins. That's the point.
I obviously paid for premium because I paid. I bought that before it even played a round basically, because again I feel like they deserve that £5 or whatever it was. And other than that, I haven't paid anything, and now I don't need to. Yeah, because I got 1.2 million coins. So whatever. But yeah, I'm definitely warming to it. It's just so different from the game I've been playing for hundreds of hours. It's crazy complicated, but I am warming to it, and I'll clearly be playing this every single day for the next few years as well.
Also, looking at my notifications, you haven't stopped playing it to record the podcast either, Matt. So,
well, so something's going to happen. I've got moves to make.
What? Something's going to happen.
Something's going to happen.
Is that an excuse? Is it?
Yeah.
You're not focusing on the podcast. You're playing disc driving. Well, something's got to happen.
Whatever. Anyway, Just Driving 2.
We got so many titles for this episode, it's unreal. Yeah, have you been playing anything else other than this, Matt?
I played a bit of Monster Hunter World. John, what do you think about the game? No, John can't talk about it. And I can't really say too much because I played like 5 hours and it's really, really overwhelming. I mean, I haven't played a Monster Hunter game before, so everything is alien.
Who are you playing with?
I've only been playing on my own so far.
That so Matt, doesn't help, does it?
You played it 5 hours, yeah?
Well, if you check my clock, I think it's close to 8 hours.
Can we expect to see it on eBay sometime next week, early?
CX, mate.
But this is it, isn't it? I cannot believe you bought this.
Why
you started floating
it?
the idea of, should I buy this? I'm thinking of buying this, and I just thought, Matt, you don't complete 8-hour games. Like, how are you going to get into a game that asks this amount of time of you?
Well, quite easily.
2 weeks. 2 weeks tops.
Maybe
James is quite confident with that.
It'd probably be a good 2 weeks.
I imagine James says the same thing at weddings.
Yeah, definitely.
Sitting at the back. Nice. So what are you making of it, Matt?
Well,
have you killed a monster?
I've killed a monster. Yeah, I've hunted a monster.
That's good.
So I played I think 7 hours or so. But honestly, I'm just pressing buttons and things are happening. I'm still trying to get my head around all the systems, even like the core gameplay loop. I'm still trying to understand. There are like a million things to see and do in like this, I guess, a social area, whatever you call it. I don't know. There's loads of different things on screen. There's a million different systems. And I only watched my first sort of guide video today just for the podcast. So I think I need to do a lot more of that just to get my head around what the game's about. But the 5 hours so hours I played, I've actually quite enjoyed, and I've been really playing on my own. I'm really looking forward to playing with John and some other people, because a few of us bought it, and I reckon in multiplayer it'll be absolutely class, because even single player, it's really fun. But right now I'm just pressing buttons. That doesn't feel very satisfying because I don't really know what I'm doing or what I need to be doing. And you know me, I need to know I'm min-maxing, and right now I don't know what I'm doing. So,
James, based on that, I'm giving him a week, mate. Not 2. I don't think he'll make it to 2.
Well, I've only been playing almost a week, and I've just been playing on my own. So,
I think because of the abuse, I think he'll manage at least 2 weeks. And then we won't hear about it again.
It doesn't matter. 2 weeks, I'll have something else to talk about on the podcast.
He'll try and prove us wrong.
Oh yes, I'm going to be the world's biggest Monster Hunter fan now. And there's a posters and a t-shirt. Dino Gaijin Hunter on YouTube. No, but I'm enjoying it. But I mean, I've been talking to John, and he's trying to help me, give me some advice and tips. But it's just really overwhelming. I mean, it probably isn't once I get the general understanding down, and maybe for those of you listening who have played Monster Hunter games before, this is it's simple stuff. But for me, I'm like, my God, there's just like, where do I go? What do I do? But the missions I have done have been fun, and I think it looks great. And I'm looking forward to trying to get my head around it and actually properly ingratiate myself into it. I already I can tell that there's so much going on that once I get my head around it and really understand it, I'll probably just be consumed by it in a Destiny style. But right now it's a bit hard to understand.
Well, I mean, if you're into min-maxing, Matt, you've got a way to go because you've only done 4% of the game, so you got quite a long way.
All right.
I don't think the abuse for Matt's going to end. I'm looking at the next 2 games we've got down on this list. One of them is a game that I finally finished, Wolfenstein 2.
Christ. It's a great game.
Absolutely adored it. Absolutely adored it. I thought, the stuff that happens in the final third of that game is utterly incredible and so well done. I heard a lot of people saying that they didn't enjoy the ending. I can't relate to that at all. I thought the ending was absolutely brilliant. Everything from when your girlfriend chucks the grenade at the thing, that was insane, to the whole end bit. It's just wonderful. Really, really good. But at the end of it, the only thing that spoiled the end, apart from that awful cover while the credits rolled, was the fault that Matt had played this and that he voted for a game he didn't play over it. Like, Matt, what the fuck are you... Like, I know I've brought this up before, but now having played that game and seeing everything that happens in it, how did you vote for Nier? What was going through your mind?
I just thought it'd be funny. I mean, I realise now that was silly and a bit of a mistake because I thought Wolfenstein 2 was fantastic. and I haven't played
At
any.
what point did you think that was funny? What's the gag?
Well, I'll explain to him later, James. No, I don't know what the gag was. I just thought I would go left field and vote for a game I haven't played. But Wolfenstein 2 is a great game. We can all admit that. Let's move on.
It works out though, doesn't it? Because I mean, he nominated a game that you haven't played as well.
Oh,
So
Which is what we're coming to, James.
you guys going to shut the fuck off about this?
You played through Night in the Woods.
I did. I played through Night in the Woods this weekend and finished it.
Go on, how long did it take you?
It's not that long, Matt. It's
How long
only
is it?
about I don't know, about 6 hours long. I started on a Friday, played it on and off over the weekend, and got through to the end. I mean, I'm not surprised that you said that it was confusing ending, because if you just watched it on YouTube, it probably would have been a bit confusing because it's like, the way the story builds up.
Hence why
There's also a couple of other things that I'm really confused that you said
go
during
on.
that. No,
Have you gone back and listened to the show?
I haven't gone back and listened to it, but I do remember him going on about a shopping mall and how this was like a critical
I didn't say
sort of
critical.
thing.
I
It
didn't
was
say
like really important part of the
that.
story and everything.
Listen to the tape.
No, because you went on about it for ages. You kept on going on about going to the mall and everything. It's
You
just
did that.
It's a tiny fraction of the game.
Well, yeah,
like,
but it is a part of the game. That was one of the last bits
But
I
James,
played.
it's not a
It's
tiny
a part.
fraction of what he played. It's a
It was 30% of what I played.
But yeah, I mean, it's a tiny fraction right at the start of the game, and
Not right at the
so
start. I'd done like 4 hours at that point.
I can't believe that, because if you did 4 hours, you'd have been well over halfway through it, and you'd have known a lot more about what the game was about. It's I don't know, unbelievable.
Yeah, but did you go to the mall though?
I didn't actually. I chose another option instead.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you didn't? Oh, okay. Well, you would know then.
Well, no, because that's not how the game works, Matt, as you'd know if you played it.
Well, I
It's,
did, and I did play, and I went to the mall, and you didn't. So weird. Why didn't you go to the
Yeah, I
mall?
mean,
Because that was quite. That
'cause-
was So you didn't try and steal the bracelets or whatever it was in the mall.
No, because there's during the thing you can choose who you're going to go with, and it's not like so not everyone has the same gameplay experience as each other.
Yeah, I didn't have the same gameplay experience as you. Mine was a lot shorter.
I know you didn't. I mean, how far did you actually get, Matt? Can you remember
did two
what
of
happened?
those night visits to the forest.
Oh man, that's not even out of chapter 1, I don't think. And there's
No,
only 4 chapters.
I can't remember if I saw the end of chapter thing. I thought
Fucking
all
hell.
the bits were at the end of each chapter, but I can't remember.
Fucking hell.
Anyway, I was fully intending to go back and play this, but my fucking Steam save file didn't sync, and so I didn't. Maybe I'll go back and play it because I was really enjoying what I played.
Well, you can
Why are you getting narky with us?
It's annoying.
Why are you
as
getting
fuck.
narky with us?
What, James? What now?
Just,
I mean, the thing is, you
just
could play
apologise
over a
and it's
weekend,
over.
Matt. It doesn't take that long.
Well, yeah, but I was playing on my laptop and whatever. Anyway, did you enjoy the game, James?
John, you made a good point there. Just apologise, Matt, and say, yeah, I
Because
fucked up
you-
there.
I was
you-
on the Game of the Year show.
No, you
You
didn't.
went, no, no.
Well, actually, no. Who am I
no.
apologise? I don't need to apologise. James, what do you think about the game? Who am I apologising to?
I did
Me?
enjoy it.
You?
I mean, one of the reasons I wanted to play it is because I wanted to see if it really was a. What's going on?
You. Go on.
I don't know. Is this what you're replacing me talking about a brand new game? That
Oh, no,
noise,
it's mental, isn't it?
honestly.
Oh,
James.
I don't care about grappling. Go on.
This is the worst bit. You see, John, is all
It's
just
all-
this nonsense.
we can destroy him. I'm interested to.
We can destroy him.
John,
is
you're not
that?
in the octagon now.
you pipe that, Matt. You got no leg to stand on here. I want to know about this game.
Yes,
I want to know what it's. I listened
Never
to a
finished it.
14-hour Game of the Year show, and Matt failed to tell me what the game was about. So I'm excited
I
to
told
hear
you
what
to
it
listen
is.
to the
Mention
Kane and
them
Rinse
all.
one then, did you? Go on, let's go. Let's go.
So yeah, I mean, I wanted to play it because I wanted to see why it was Game of the Year, like according to Matt. And
All right, okay, we get that. Right, you've done the digs.
Okay,
let's go.
you fucked up there, James. I
you're
was on your team,
you're-
but I don't know. I'm on no one's
turning
team
into
now.
Public Enemy number 1, James. You're going to fuck up this chance to be one. So just get on with it.
all right,
Well, I don't understand that, but go.
Neither do I. I think I've had 2 beers. Oh, come on, James.
either way, the game is excellent, and
Thank
I mean,
you.
I have a few slight niggles with it. Like I didn't enjoy because like the dream sequences bit.
Yeah,
that
I know
you
about them,
talked
boy.
about, Matt. That I didn't really enjoy that much, but overall it is really impressive. I didn't engage with it in quite the same way as you, Matt, because I think because you didn't play it for that long, maybe you thought it was about something a bit different to what it actually turns out to be about. But the thing that is really amazing about the game is it does a really fantastic job of sort of exploring, because what it does is it explores like the sort of the economic realities of being in this sort of small town in decline. And it talks about sort of the choices that people have to make, and particularly the way in which sometimes, like in life, you don't really have a choice. You can't really sort of decide things, and things are kind of decided for you by circumstances. And I mean, not just this, but it also talks about how crap the current economic system is, and and the way that unless you're incredibly rich, you don't really have choices that you can make.
So it told you, it showed you what our lives are like, James.
Pretty much, yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry, David, that you have to live this way, but it's it's.
Good.
But no, it's the thing is, I really in the beginning I really disliked the main character because she seems to be.
Sorry.
You did say that about 9 times last week, and that's been in my head. Go on.
I really disliked the main character at the start, but mostly because this character is really kind of unlikable because she comes back from university, appears to have just like binned the whole thing off for no reason at all, and then tries to sort of integrate herself back into her hometown, where she kind of feels comfortable there, but then also all of her friends, like, their situations have changed because they're all having to work jobs now, and they have a kind of a different reality to what she had, and they can't understand why she would give up what she did have. But then
here's the thing, though, James. I've heard that a million times about this game, right? I understand what it's about. What I haven't heard anyone properly get across is how do they make that interesting? I've heard, it's about returning back to your own time. Yeah, fine, but how do they make that good?
Also, what do you do?
Well, you see, they make it good by... the thing is the game is often quite mundane in the sense that you're just sort of walking around the town, chatting with people, talking about, sort of what's been going on. But it's the way that they slowly develop your character by exploring the other people around you. So, as I said, in the beginning, I didn't really like this character at all because of like her attitude towards things. But then, because of her interactions with other people, you start to understand more about her and about the relationship she has with her family and also with her past as well. But the reason that this is done so well is because the dialogue is so good. Like, it's often really funny, and also it explores like this sort of, obviously like the nature of existence, but it's done in a really sort of unwanky way. And it's just really fun. It's a really sort of fun way to sort of explore it, but also quite depressing and quite sad in places. I wouldn't say... maybe it is a Game of the Year contender because it does such a good job of exploring these problems of, like, modern life, like, without it feeling sort of very preachy. But, I don't know, I'm not sure, I'm not really sure if I go for as a Game of the Year, really. But still, it's really good. I know, like, Matt... fuck this.
Decided.
Fuck it.
No, I see what you're saying. It's just the way you went, yeah, it's probably not Game of the Year sort of material, though. But still, it's really good. It's like, I get what you're saying, Lynn. I get what you're saying. Right, okay, should we get on to emails?
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's been a long old show.
There's not that many... It's not been that long yet. There's not that many emails this week because Matt took them all for the feedback bit. So, yeah, if you want to email us, it's thecomputergameshow@gmail.com. So, first up, it's just a pair of emails. So, not much here. Hello, brothers. Do you know the way? I don't know what that is in reference to. I probably have known.
Uganda Knuckles for meme.
Okay, so Sean said that was racist.
Yeah, that was racist.
So if I was just said something racist, I'm sorry. I'm going to plead ignorance on that.
This might be your last episode of the pod.
Well, it's definitely going to be yours, mate, if you keep that up.
Ooh.
Right.
Yeah, I don't. Again, Matt thinking that he's got more power than he's got. I don't tell you how to tweet.
Surely.
You do tell him how to tweet, though, to be fair.
No, I comment on his tweets, so I don't try and take over.
Very true.
Yeah, no, honestly, Matt, I don't... you or John? I mean...
Come on.
It's close.
All right,
John hasn't tried to steal food from my child's mouth, so...
What that you know of?
Go on.
Anyway, goodness. Just kidding. Have you played Pyre? I was sceptical as to whether I enjoy a text-based RPG/wizard basketball game, but I just finished it and it's one of my favourites of 2017. The story, setting and characters are really well fleshed out and interesting, and the old sport that you play between long dialogue sequences is really fun and exciting. If you see it on sale, I'd highly recommend you pick it up. Regards with Nail and Pyre. I've not played Pyre. I've played both Bastion and Transistor. Is that the? I've suddenly blanking on the name.
Something like that. It's close enough.
I played both of those. Transistor to Completion and a chunk of Bastion. I really like the style of that studio. Name's escaping me at the moment. San Francisco studio. But I hadn't played Pyre. It came out at the same time as a bunch of other stuff. So it's maybe something I'll get to at some point. Maybe if it appears on a Game Pass or PS Plus type situation. I've heard it's their best game from quite a few people. And I like the idea of wizards and basketball. They're two things that I like. So I would like to think that I'll play it at some point. But you know how it is. There are a lot of games and not a lot of time. So but... Anybody else fancy that?
I've never even heard of it, to be honest.
I haven't heard of it. Are you joking? I mean, the reason I don't want to play it is because I heard the word pie about 1 billion times on the Giant Bomb end of year show.
Oh yeah, they did mention it. Yeah, I did. I skipped
were, going on about it and saying how good it is, but I mean, like, that killed my love for Pyre. And honestly, that podcast has probably also killed my love for podcasts. I haven't basically listened to gaming podcasts since that, really. But that's another story.
Hold on. I mean, this is quite a turnaround, because usually wherever Giant Bomb mentioned, you're like, yeah, no, it's the best thing ever that Giant Bomb said.
Yeah, I haven't listened to one since, and I haven't listened to any. I've sort of fallen in love with music again, so it's probably that. But I just don't listen to gaming podcasts anymore. I don't know what's happened to me. I hammered it over Christmas, obviously, but like the fucking 26 hours of that, and I'm just done for a while.
Some YouTuber probably slagged off gaming podcasts.
Yeah,
innit?
Logan Paul said they are rubbish.
Go on, James, have you played this?
I've not. No, I've not touched it.
Okay, cool. Next question.
All right. Hey guys, wanting to ask that following on from the success of the Nintendo Switch, do you think in the near future we'll see both Sony and Microsoft following suit and putting out their own portable hardware? Is this the time for a PS Vita 2 or the long-fabled portable Xbox? And that's from Ben Munro. What do you think, guys? I mean, I'm kind of the opinion of never say never these days. You know, I would say no, but things keep surprising me, so maybe.
I mean, we've spoken about this a few times, and we've always been like, well, it does seem like the future and stuff, but I mean, Sony have been burnt way too many times. I can't see them bringing out a portable version of PS4 or anything.
The Vita obviously didn't work out, but the original PSP was pretty popular. I mean,
it was a long time ago, though, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I can't see them.
The Vita's still doing really well in Japan. It's just outside of there that no one cares.
Yeah, but James, do you think that they'll do it then? Like,
no,
I
don't think so. I mean, it's another one of those things where I'd like them to, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen, and I don't think it will. Because I think they're really focusing now, it's just PS4 and PSVR seem to be their main sort of focuses now.
Yeah, they're the two platforms at the moment. And yeah, I'm still surprised by how much they're putting into PSVR, but it's a good sign. Yeah, it means that they're not going to just drop it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Microsoft and Sony I don't think they need to at this point. I mean, Sony's gaming division is doing okay. I'm sure Microsoft. I'm sure they've actually. I think Microsoft announced 8% year-on-year profit up in the gaming division, largely thanks to Xbox One X, but not enough for them to bother doing a handheld. I'm sure they've also said that they've investigated it, but unless they can maybe get an Xbox One X quality console and handheld, then no chance. And even if they could do that, I just think no. It's not worth it. I mean, Nintendo did it because Nintendo can, they do these crazy things, and it was a perfect storm of like what they did with the 3DS and the Wii U. But I just can't see. I mean, I can't see Microsoft ever doing it, but Sony, I wouldn't. It wouldn't be outside the realms of possibility for them to do Vita and a Vita. But I
will say this though with Sony. I mean, you look at you're saying, oh, look how well the Switch is doing. Look how well the PS4 is doing. I mean, what was it, 74 million units sold through now?
Yeah, 75.
That is just... I mean, sometimes it's easy to forget, like you're saying, yeah, the Switch is selling like crazy. The fucking PS4 is selling like crazy. Like, that's the market leader in terms of gaming consoles. So for them to try and emulate the success of the Switch, I think would be a bit of too much of a risk, I think.
Yeah, I like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if in 5 years or in the next 5 years they release another handheld. Microsoft, I think they've probably tried internally and said no, just not worth it.
Next question.
Right, well, it's tweets time. It's tweets time. It's at Computer Game Pod on Twitter.
Well, she's fantastic.
We got some, as Matt said last week, we got some dubstep jingles, which I've probably put in there. Thanks to everyone that sent them in. That was, it was keep sending them in. We might do a new one each week. We don't want to go into jingles. We're not Joypod, but I don't mind just popping one in every now and then. So we'll do that. So you've heard that now, and me explaining it, which has completely killed the flow of the show.
Yeah, totally,
but there you go.
it.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry
it's
about
tweets
it.
time.
Yeah. Right, Darren Gargett asks, "Hi James, what's your favourite Canterbury tale?"
The Knight's Tale.
Very nice. A real answer.
Very, very honest answer there.
Beautiful.
No bant.
Stanshall. Hello, gents. Have you ever suffered from an uncharacteristically caustic, misanthropic rage when losing a game online? Street Fighter 5 rank mode, for example. And if so, how do you deal with it? Brackets, I cut out coffee and Street Fighter 5 rank mode. I don't suffer from uncharacteristically caustic, misanthropic rage because it's very much part of my character. But I deal with it. It's just part of who I am. I'm fine with it.
John? What is the most angry you've been at an online game?
At an online game, it's got to be like FIFA. Yeah, FIFA it drives me fucking crazy. Probably even the other day, it was one of the angriest I've ever been. I don't like rage and smash things at video games anymore. That's gone. It's all internalized now, which is probably much worse for me. Remember that episode of The Simpsons where Homer tries to not get angry and those things grow out of his neck? That's how I feel when I play FIFA these days, especially in co-op. But yeah, that noise. But yeah, I used to, when I was younger, I used to get proper angry at games and fuck off. But to be fair, I did actually shout it and smash my hand into the chair just the other day playing something. So yeah, no, you just got to get it out. That's why,
It's weird. Do you know what's really weird is that, FIFA used to wind me up, and I'll tell my FIFA story in a bit. But the Rocket League, I would expect that to get me more angry. And don't get me wrong, I do get wound up by it, but there's nowhere near. I think it's because the games are shorter, and you always feel like you've got a chance of getting back into it. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, it's like this on FIFA now, but at the time when I was getting really angry at it, quitting out was just not an option. No. Now it's kind of like the polite thing to do. It's etiquette.
Yeah,
if you're 4-0 down after a minute, quit, so we can all move on. You're not enjoying it. We're not enjoying it. Just move on, and then we'll take the win, and then we'll go again. But yeah, no, mine was the FIFA World Cup game. I think it was the South Africa one, where it introduced the online mode, which was like Seasons, but it was progressing through the tournament. And losing at that, I had a coffee table in my flat that I used to just smash my fingers into, just the end of my fingers, just flick it. And that caused a lot of damage to my hands, no doubt, like the joints in my hands. I was just I used to get to the point where I would go to sleep extremely angry, just lay in my bed looking at the ceiling full of rage, then wake up the next morning, go and stand in the shower and just want to headbutt the tiles in my bathroom. I was getting that angry at it. It was not. And the problem with that game mode is that there was no happy ending, right? Because it's not like you could get through to the semi-finals and then go, okay, I'm going to go to bed now. You'd play that semi-final and lose in it and get fucking infuriated. That was the game that I played the most, that I walked away from every time getting pure rage. That killed me. But yeah, these days I'm not so angry. I think PUBG's winding me up a lot, so I'm just stopped playing that now. For a little bit. I'll go back to it, no doubt, but I was playing it last night with Chet, and my word, there were times where I was literally unloading into another player, blood was splurting everywhere.
Can you repeat that?
Unloading into another player, is that right? Are you making it sexual?
It was a little bit sexual.
Yeah.
All right. I was shooting at another player. Oh,
Can you
God. I was spraying.
As I bust my nut into another player's face.
Yeah, and they just weren't dying, and then just one pop and I was dead. I was like, "Fuck's sake! Like, what is this? What is this game?" So yeah,
I told you about
I get to the point now
yesterday, Dave, when we were chatting when we were playing Rocket League. But I cannot handle those 40-minute games on PUBG where nothing happens. You loot, you wander into the middle, you might get a vehicle, and then you finally see people and you just die. It just feels like I'm
I still
wasting
think my favourite
life.
game of PUBG was when it was me and you playing duos, and we went to the military base and it was empty. And we were like, holy shit, we got the whole military base. So we just stocked up on everything. We had everything we needed. And then John went, let's go into this cave thing just out here. So we went into this cave, and throughout the whole game, for 40 minutes, the circle was just zooming in on us. Yeah. Like, it was just enclosed around us, right? And what was brilliant is that there was, like, land above us. And we could hear people having gunfights, like, just above our heads. And we were just sitting there for 40 minutes doing nothing. And then it got to the point where we were just outside the circle and went, okay, let's go outside. We walked out the front door and just got shot straight away and died. And we were like, why did we do that? What a waste of everyone's time. Yeah, that was a good game. A good game.
How about you boys? Do you rage out?
No, I mean the only game I've probably raged out was Diddy Kong, that boss on Diddy Kong Racing. But
yeah.
In terms of online stuff, no, not at all really. I mean, I might have shouted the odd thing, but nothing. I'm not like throwing controls and kicking off really about it.
James, I can't imagine you ever getting proper rage online.
No, I don't get it online. I get it. The only time that I've had it really bad was when I was playing Jet Set Radio on Dreamcast, and there was a bit on that which really really made me angry, and I destroyed a blind. Yeah.
What, a blind man?
It was just really annoying. First of all, I threw my controller at it, and then I went to pick it up, and then I was so angry that I started just attacking it, and just pulled it down, sort of stamped on it a bit. It was, I was so angry. It was just so annoying. And then I found out that in the game you didn't even have to do what I was trying to achieve. I thought it was just, it was awful.
James, who were you living with at the time?
My ex-girlfriend.
Is that where you broke up?
Was it ex the next day?
Yeah.
James, I really love my
Was she there when you were doing it?
What have you done to it?
Yeah, of course she was there. It was awful.
And what did she say to you? Did she say something to you?
Just calm down.
You're like, no, the blind's annoying me.
Calm down. I've called the
Venetian blind.
It's too bright. Shut the blind. Oh, it's on the floor. Fuck.
But generally, I don't get that wound up. I don't generally get that wound up from playing games, but that really did annoy me because, like I said, it was really annoying to find out I didn't need to do it anyway. And you got to the top, and all there was like some extra graffiti thing or something you didn't even need to do.
And that's the game, the sequel. That's the reason I put a foot through my wall in my old family home.
Really?
Yeah. So fuck Jet Set Radio.
Was it the pigeon level?
It was just something where I had to go across loads of skyscrapers in.
Yeah. That's the level. That is the level. It was fucking. The
controls
awful.
In that game, it was just far too loose. And it was just...
forget all that. It was just like... all the other levels, it was like you fall off a rail. You're like, okay, I'm on the floor. I'll just jump back on the rail. But that one was like, you fall off the rail, you're dead now. Bye. It's like, what the fuck is this? That's where I stopped playing that game.
Yeah, for the best.
Right, okay.
Right, moving on. We've got Andrew Geschwend. Have you ever made actual money by selling games to stores like Game/GameStop? I recently found a copy of AC Welcome Amiibo for 5 CHF, and my GameStop bought it for 16 CHF. Did you ever manage to do something like this? Maybe with FIFA, since people like to resell that.
I can't think of an instance where that's happened. In fact, definitely not. And I always tend to trade in games for games. I never get to the point where I try and get cash for it, so it's kind of pointless for me. I have been surprised by even when I took Zelda, I traded Zelda in and got 30 quid credit for it, and I was kind of like, fucking hell, yeah, that's still pretty good, isn't it? But no, that's not been a regular occurrence. Yeah. Matt, you usually do these wheeling and dealings, don't you?
Yeah, I remember on on PS4 launch day, I took 2 PS4s in and made 70 quid profit on each of those.
That's so awful.
I've lost count. I've done loads, but you've got to sort of, buying bulk, as it were. Yeah, the PS4 launch day was great. So I already pre-ordered one on, say, Amazon and sold that on eBay for a bit of profit. And then I'd pre-ordered my own one in Sainsbury's, and I went in the morning at 8 o'clock to collect it. And I was like, have you got any more? They're like, yeah, we've got one more. We've got 2 or 3. I was like, I'll go on in. I'll take one more. And I went straight from there, and that was 8 o'clock in the morning, straight to town for 9 o'clock for CX to open, because I knew they're offering 70 or 80 quid more than the regular price.
I hate people like you, Matt.
Bit of prof.
It's just awful. You're the sort of person that, like when they post up those deals where it's like they've made a pricing error.
Oh god,
and it's
yeah.
like you can get something. You can get something for like £1 rather than like £10. You'll go on there and buy 500 of them, wouldn't you?
Well, if I can,
so you can sell them all.
If I got the capital, sure. No, I mean I've got the alerts set up on the Hot UK Deals website for like Xbox, PlayStation, etc. So the second someone's like, Far Cry 5's 50p, I'm like, done, bang, we're going. But yeah, good times.
James, you just out of interest, with all the buying and selling of FIFA you've done this year, have you worked out like if you're at a loss or if you? What was the deal?
I mean, we're at a loss.
I think I've lost about. That was a crap joke.
That was a great joke.
I think
that deserves more. The audience went out cracking up.
I agree with James. Go on.
I think I've lost probably about £10. Like over the whole thing.
On top of your initial main purchase?
Yes. Yeah,
it's cost you £10 to own
probably
14 versions
probably
of that
about
game.
that much, I think. I mean, when I traded the Switch version for the PS4 version most recently, I didn't make any loss because it was just a straight swap. It was fine. But I think before I probably lost.
That's rare these days, isn't it? Where was that? That was a game, right?
That was a game, yeah. It's it was still the value of it was still really high, so I was surprised.
You Del Boy, John. You cheeky
No,
Del?
I mean, I made a little bit of money on my SNES Mini. I just realised I wasn't playing on it, so I made like 20-30 quid on that, but it's not really my style. I'm too absent-minded to go and flip things for small profits.
That's the thing, I just can't be bothered.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of effort doing all of that.
Well, there's that, and I've always got that feeling at the back of my head is where the moment I try something like that, it will go terribly wrong. And I'll end up with £300 gone, and trying to explain that to Joe. I'll be the last, but I'll be the person before the last one that makes a profit on it, and that's just my mindset. It's definitely going to go wrong for me. So yeah, that's why I never do any of that shit. But Matt, fucking sunshine out of his fucking arsehole, golden child.
What does that even mean?
Oh, look, I just happened to do this at the right time, and now I've got £300 to play with. Oh, well done, Matt, yeah.
Right.
You make me sick. There was probably
Am I going on or what? Are you still ranting? What's going on here?
Yeah, go on, John.
Yeah, go on.
Right, Sam Quirk, did James relent on telling us where he lives purely so he could start moaning about the property prices on Twitter?
It's a fair point.
Is that what you're doing?
But yeah, well, no, it's 'cause I moaned about it once because it just turned out that prices where I live have gone up 300% recently, and it's insane.
It hasn't 300% since you announced where you live.
Yeah.
If anything, I thought they would have dropped.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping, but yeah, it didn't happen. So yeah, I've only said about it once. Bit off.
Right, Louis Belfort. Remember John being a fan... Oh, it's because he's not used a normal sentence. Apologies. Remember John... I remember John being a fan of the first Evil Within game. Has he played 2, and did he enjoy it as much as 1? I have played 2 and finished 2. It's very good, very accomplished game. Kind of a broader scope than the first one. But I think, moment to moment, I did prefer the original game, and that's not a very popular opinion. And I even like the borders. So, yeah, not a lot of people think that either. But both very good. Both very, very good.
The second one had a lot more sort of fourth wall breaking stuff, isn't it?
I don't know, there's a fair bit of fourth wall breaking in the first one as well. It was different, but yeah, it played around a lot with even the medium and just played around certainly a lot with the environments and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't say there was a huge amount more in the second one.
I was just thinking of that one scene where they go, "Oh, there's evil within 2." And then they both look at the camera.
Yeah, there's that bit.
Yeah, that was kind of there was nothing like this in the first one.
That's very
really
true.
Weird. It was good though. It's funny. I liked it.
Right, Dewey at Transters. Are you guys excited for the Shadow of the Colossus remake? Will James be getting it since he hasn't played the original at all?
I will. I ordered it a few days ago.
Is it full price?
James, you'll love it.
I've got it for 22 quid.
Oh, shit.
It's 24, like with Amazon Prime, it's 22, but it's, just regular, it's 24.
Yeah, I've also never played it, and everyone's saying this is an incredible remaster.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a very, very good version. So
pisses on Last Guardian. James, you will absolutely adore it. I've got no worry. Like, I'm not even concerned about you playing that game. I know you're going to love it. The one thing that hold on, sorry, my Siri's just kicked off again. I don't know why. The one thing that is holding me back from buying it is because I had such a emotional connection to that game the first time I played it. I don't really want to. It's not going to taint that experience. I haven't got that fear. It's just I want that intact. Like, I don't want to go through it again because I had such a powerful experience with it the first time. Is that nuts?
No, it's not nuts. That makes sense.
That's just the way I feel about that game is so, I don't know, I've got such strong feelings towards it. I don't want to do it again.
That's one of the reasons why I wouldn't go back and play like Shenmue again, for example, because I know that it would ruin my memories probably of it, and it's just not a good idea.
Yeah, but if they did like a full remaster with much better graphics and all that sort of shit, you still wouldn't touch it.
I don't know, they'd still have to do a lot of other things to it as well, aside from just the visuals.
Yeah.
But what if everyone said it was really good?
Well, then I probably would, but I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, but even now, like, we know that this game, like, people played it and said it's excellent. It looks a lot better. Even now, I'm kind of like, I'm so wary about going back to that game because of the feelings that I had towards it the first time round. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm glad you're playing it because I genuinely think you'll love it. And Matt, you should definitely play it as well because it's fantastic.
I'm big into Monster Hunter, mate. I can't really.
Playing Monster Hunter and Dark Souls, can't even complete Night in the Woods. Shocking. John?
Will I get it? Do you mean? Is that what you're saying? Hello?
Yeah. So,
is this thing on?
Yeah, I just said it. Yeah, I said yeah. No, I didn't realise it was 22 quid.
John.
Oh, it's all good. I just roll with the punches. It's 22 quid. Then yeah, I thought it was going to be full price. And considering I've got like 9,000 other games on my plate, but why not just fucking add another one? Well, I'll never play any of them. But
add another one to the pile.
Always something to talk about on the excellent computer game pod. Right, Bob Bunker.
Computer game show. It's called, get the title right, John. It's called the Computer Game Show.
Yeah, shut up. Right, Bob Bunker. He's coming with a hat trick of tweets here. Right, first up. Oh, I knocked my mic. First up, since getting my Switch, my PS4 has been gathering dust, despite still having loads of great games that I've barely touched. Do any of you have a similar problem? I just can't stop myself seeing the PS4 as a bit old and clunky. How can I break this malaise? I get it. I've not had the same problem, but I'm always jumping between machines and playing different things. But you just got to find the right game. You will think of something that you're pumped for. You're going to play on PS4. It's not going to be on Switch, Red Dead, whatever it might be, and get stuck in, or don't. You don't worry about it. You just play what you enjoy and just own it.
Just plastic and metal, mate. I don't know if I feel exactly what I felt that about all my consoles. A couple of years ago, I was going, I'm going to sell my Xbox One. I think I'm genuinely going to sell it, and now. Like, pretty much since I bought the PS4 Pro, I haven't used. It's been different over the past 3 or 4 weeks where I've been playing Wolfenstein and a lot of Rocket League on it. I've been using a lot more of the PS4 Pro, but for a while there, I was like, oh my god, why did I buy the PS4 Pro? I'm not touching it anymore. I'm just all on Xbox. But then, so for me, it's not so much me switching between consoles all the time. I'll just play one console non-stop, I'm exclusive to that console for a month or two, and then I'll switch to the other one. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Something will come out on the PS4, you'll start playing it again, and that'll be that. You'll stick with that one for a while and wonder why you've got to switch.
I've turned my PlayStation on twice since I got my Xbox One X. But yeah, I mean, obviously when this big PS4 game comes out, I'll play that. But I bought Monster Hunter on the X, and mostly because now there's a few of us playing on the Xbox, so I'm happily buying multiple platforms on that. And also, they have seemed to have looked better on the Xbox One X than the PlayStation 4 Pro. But yeah, the moment a big Sony game comes out, I'm all over it.
Yeah, but the comparison videos for that sort of shit make me laugh sometimes. You really do have to look to notice the difference. I know people going, oh yeah, no, it looks better on the Xbox One X, which it does, obviously, but I don't think that the jump is like huge. It's not like massively noticeable, if at all. You have to really look.
Yeah, and you can really only look in comparisons, but it's more that if someone says this is the best version, I'm going to buy the best version.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Same price, isn't it?
Yeah, man. All right, Bob's second question. Thanks to John, I've persevered with ARMS and in no time have ascended to the Mind Games level of fighting despite sucking Street Fighter 5. Good news. Can you think of any other examples of games that have allowed you to finally access a genre that previously chewed you up and spat you out? That's a very good question. I think probably for me, Oblivion would probably be the first real Western-style RPG that I really got stuck into. I remember having to look at some when I was working on the mags, like some German stuff like Gothic 3, and just saying, like, I have no fucking clue. There's way too much going on here. It's totally overwhelming, like you were talking about with Monster Hunter before, Matt. But that a combination of that game being streamlined, combination of that game being more accessible, and other people that I knew raving about it, and other people I respected in the office, got me kind of over that hump. And it's actually a pretty simple game. And now, because of that, I was able to understand and appreciate like The Witcher and stuff like that. And I still won't go super hardcore into that genre, but yeah, I think that would probably be my example I go to there. Anybody else?
I can't really think of a game that I've tried and then I've gone on to play other games in that same genre, in all honesty. I mean, maybe I'll play more Dark Souls-like games.
I was going to say, I reckon this is it.
Maybe this is the one, but who knows?
Well, you reckon he's going to be straight onto Bloodborne?
Not straight onto it, but Bloodborne's timeless, so I reckon he'll go Bloodborne at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really... I mean, I'd say twin-stick shooters, because I wasn't... But then I was there for Geometry Wars, so maybe not, maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, I tend to stick with what I know, and very rarely jump out of that. I mean, the other... Right, okay, sorry, I thought it was going to sneeze, but I'm okay.
Keep that in. Maybe that should be the episode title.
Yeah, no, I mean, the classic example, I guess, for me was when I first played Fable, when I realised that RPGs are not actually these horrible things that are going to be way too confusing for me. And then that led me on to playing Mass Effect, because I thought, actually, maybe I will enjoy that. And so I guess that kind of counts.
Yeah, I think that counts.
I did try and play... I just did try and play Skyrim, and I was like, nah.
It doesn't mean you have to like them all, does it?
No, that's true, I guess. So that's a good point.
I read
James?
It.
Yeah, I think maybe I've got something a bit similar with like the Elder Scrolls games, I think, because prior to preferring any of those, I've always preferred my like nerd geek stuff being sort of science fiction based rather than like fantasy. And that kind of got me more into the fantasy side, I think, of things.
No.
But I think that's about it, really.
Nice.
How far into it? Like, have you gone to the Elder Scrolls games you played, but have you tried any other fantasy stuff?
Let me think. I got The Witcher, but I still haven't actually put any time into it.
That's really good. Yeah. I'm not into fantasy, as I've said a million times before, but that is, it feels a lot less fantasy than most games like that. It feels like it deals with like proper real life issues, which I'm sure fantasy games do as well, but they're so muddled down with the whole nonsense that surrounds them, in my opinion, that it kind of kills it a little bit for me. But this keeps things more real than it should, than most other games do, I mean. Good game. Next.
All right, so Bob Bunker finishing off his hat-trick Harry Kane style. Last question, I promise. Sean waxed lyrical about how Lena Mon Hun enhanced the core experience of the series. What series or genre is in most need of this less is more kick up the arse? What fat would you remove to enhance the flavour of that sweet, sweet meat? I mean, yeah, it's kind of a tough question, to be honest. With most series have been leaned out, I think. There's not many series that are still sort of drowning in that kind of stuff. If you think about what are the major hits, even just talking about Mass Effect just before, even that throughout its own series kind of leaned itself out. So it's almost like, I'm trying to think of games that are still clinging on to that way of being almost too obscure and too impenetrable. You know, people have powered through Dark Souls, they've powered into Monster Hunter now. Is there anything else that's really that obscure beyond stuff like I was talking about before, like the really, really dense Western RPGs like Gothic and stuff from other countries? I can't think of anything that's.
I would have played like a space simulator that didn't require you to have almost like a pilot's level knowledge of. I mean, like things like Eve or things like that, Elite, maybe. I mean, I found them fun, but they seem a bit overwhelming to me.
Yeah,
but they've done that with No Man's Sky. Is kind of like that, though, isn't it? It's like strip work.
No Man's Sky is like world basic.
Well,
world basic. If anything, that is stripped back. I think there are other examples as well, as opposed to just hey, there's loads of different aspects to this game, like the classic Ubisoft look at the map and it's covered in shit. That is always a bit of a turn off, and I argued the point, and I stand by it, that in what's it called, Horizon Zero Dawn, the good thing about that is that everything on the map was quite enjoyable to do. So it didn't feel awful that the map was full up of stuff. But the first time I loaded that map, I was like, oh my fucking God, there's too much here. But yeah, so I could see why people would turn that off. So I'd be interested to see how Far Cry 5 deals with that. If it's going to just keep to the formula of loading up your map, or if it's going to chill out a little bit and let you either discover things on your own, or I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where they go with that.
Have you seen all the Far Cry 5 pre-order stuff that they've announced?
The DLC stuff?
No. All the DLC stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
What's
like
that?
A Vietnam mode and the zombies and what was the other one? Aliens or something? Or you go to space?
Yeah, they've got those like all the packs that have this. Each of them have a crazy theme. Where it looks almost like
that's
more
cool.
blood dragons.
So essentially, what they're doing is little blood dragons. Yeah. That's pretty good. Yeah, no, I like that idea. I've always said that. Like, it's what I liked about Red Dead as well, when they just went, okay, here's the DLC for it. Let's just have a bit of fun. It doesn't have to be tied to the main game. It can just be around the main game and, just add this weird element into it. I think that's far more interesting than just adding a new area or whatever. Yeah, okay.
And then, final question is Matt King. So, the other day I played Monster Hunter World all night until 8 a.m. What memorable gaming moments have made you seriously question your life choices?
Oh, God. I mean, the first raid in Destiny, there was that confused me in a few ways. The first being why we were up till 2 o'clock in the morning every night doing this thing. The second being, how can I enjoy something this much? How can I enjoy it this much? I'm all day, every day at work was just I could not wait to get home and then put my wife to bed and then just fucking load up Destiny again. There was that time that week or so that we played Minecraft, Matt.
Yeah,
that made me question my life a lot.
Or Second Life. I mean, Second Life's probably the one.
Second Life, oh my God, Second Life.
When I say seriously question your life choices, I wasn't questioning my life choices playing the first raid because I was in Destiny, because I was absolutely loving it. It was amazing. But I was questioning my life choices and I was playing Second Life until 4 o'clock in the morning on the weekend.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Trying to chat to some American woman. That was me questioning my life choices.
That was weird. That was a weird stage of our life. Literally 4 o'clock in the morning, just going on different servers.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't just a late night. It was mostly that when I woke up, my jaw ate because I've been laughing so much. As well. It's just that was stupid. Also fun, but definitely the Second Life obsession. That was a bad one.
God, we got to a point where we would log into Second Life and people would go, "Hey Dave, how's it going?"
Yeah.
And we were just I was the dude with the guitar on his head. Yeah. It was just. We made friends on that thing. It was weird.
I miss those guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, playing too much Halo 2 in the period where I was unemployed, I guess, in terms of seriously questioning your life choices. But recently, no, just, you go, I stayed up too late. But apart from that, nothing major. But it's been my job since I was 22 years old, so I can't really, answer it in that way. Does that make sense?
PUBG was bad.
PUBG has been bad recently,
we were just on it way too late every night. And I guess Rocket League has that effect as well, because it makes me question why I'm not putting every hour of my life into this to become
every
a pro.
time I play it, I do think, why do I play any other games?
Yeah, I get the same feeling. Why am I bothering playing everything else when I could put all my time into this and getting better? But I suppose if I've put as many hours into it and I'm still not, in a higher tier, then it's never going to happen. But we'll see. We'll see. We're on a bit of a roll at the moment. James?
The only thing I can think of is, do you remember when Rainbow Six 3, like when Black Arrow came out?
God, yeah.
See, I remember getting up early to go and buy it, coming home, because this was like during, like, when I was doing like university, and so obviously I didn't have to do anything, and like playing that from when I got it until the next morning. So it was like getting on for 24 hours, I think. And I remember like eventually just in the morning going to bed, and I could still hear people's voices in my head. Like,
yeah.
And that was horrible. And that was when I was just like,
we were playing together back then, weren't we?
We were, yeah. Yeah, we played. Yeah, it was, I mean, it's a really good game. Like, at that time, it was fantastic. Nothing's ever got quite close to that, really, in the way that it played. But, yeah, really good.
Are you sure it's not when you try to unlock everything in Dead or Alive?
That was a low point. And, I did do it though. It's I did it. It was. I mean, in hindsight, it was a complete waste of time, but I enjoyed going through the process at the time.
It got you through your breakdown.
It did, yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's it for your questions.
That's all it. That's all it. Decent selection this week. A little bit disappointed in the emails. Only 2, although Matt did nick 3 for feedback. But yeah, it's just solid selection of tweets. I like the idea if anybody's got any games or any of that type of question, rather than just broad gaming questions, like specific gaming questions for games, send them in. Why not?
All right, there's your homework for next week. Matt, what should people do?
Okay, a couple of things really. First of all, we really want your Apple Podcast reviews. They really help us get up the chart potentially, more people see the show, and we just want that. So if you haven't already left a review on there, please think about doing that. We really appreciate that. It's also really great if you subscribe to us on Twitch. Now, if you can pay like £5 a month if you want to, but if you're an Amazon Prime customer, you can link your Twitch account and give us a free subscription just by going and clicking a few things. So go over to our Twitch channel, search the Computer Game Show over on Twitch. Obviously, I'm doing my Dark Souls streams every Sunday night from 9. And give us a subscription if you haven't already. And we've got Discord. I keep forgetting to mention it, but the link to the Discord for the 300 amazing people chatting all day, every day about all sorts of stuff is pinned to the top of our Twitter account. So please think about going over there and saying hello.
And a big shout out and thank you to everyone that chucked a couple of quid in the pot last week. That was it's very much appreciated, and it goes towards our pockets. So it makes things easier for every time we say to our missus, "Oh, look, I've got to go and record a podcast." No, sorry about that. So you've made it easy, my life just a little bit easier. Thanks for that. We'll catch you next week. Have a lovely week. Enjoy life. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Players.
Goodbye.